Naruto, God Rewards Hard Work, Chapter 221. Minato and the others looked at Naruto, and Naruto Hayate also looked at this guy who was similar to himself curiously. Are you my long-lost brother? I didn't expect that I, Uzumaki Naruto, actually have a brother. Naruto Hayate couldn't help but shed tears. He really thought that the Naruto in front of him was his long-lost brother. Minato Namikaze smiled awkwardly. He never thought that his son would be so thick-skinned. He didn't know the identity of the Naruto in front of him even after traveling through time and space. Sure enough, he inherited Kushina's temperament. Minato looked at Naruto Hayate with a hint of tenderness in his eyes. Then Minato looked at Naruto Hayate. So did this Naruto have my personality? Naruto had briefly explained to him the difference between parallel time and space, so he also knew that the two Naruto might come from different time and space. Personalities may also be completely different, because time and space are diverse. Naruto saw this Naruto who was like him, smiled, but a strange feeling rose in his heart. He always felt strange looking at himself. He explained, I am not your brother, but you can also regard me as your brother. I come from another future similar to you. I am also Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto soon explained the rules of time and space again. But this knowledge is like a heavenly book to Naruto. Originally, Namikaze Minato, who thought that Naruto in front of him was very good, wanted to educate his children like Naruto before. Now think about it, his son is a bit too much. Minato immediately looked at Naruto. The Naruto in front of him had a better temperament, unfathomable strength, mature and stable, a bit like him. Although he didn't quite understand what it meant, Naruto Hayate also knew that the Naruto in front of him also came here through the dragon vein. And he was a guy who was not very different from himself, but because they were both Naruto, he had a great liking for the Naruto in front of him. Moreover, the Naruto in front of him also gave people a handsome feeling more handsome than Sasuke. Can you tell me about the future? Minato Namikaze said with a smile, giving people a feeling of being bathed in spring breeze. Naruto couldn't help but smile. As expected of him, this kind of gentle temperament can always convince people. Perhaps Naruto's power to convince people comes from Minato Namikaze. The future. Every world is different. The future of my world may be completely different from the future of your world. Naruto explained slowly. Is that so? Minato Namikaze was thoughtful, while Naruto Hayate was a little confused, feeling that it was too complicated. Well, then I won't force it. Minato Namikaze nodded and said. Naruto spoke again. Although our future may be different, it is also very similar. At least there are some things you can know. Naruto changed his tone instantly, making several people choke. Since knowing the difference between time and space, Minato no longer had the idea of erasing everyone's memory as in the original work. Because even if the memory exists, what happened has already happened, so only a tributary will grow again, allowing what has already happened to continue. In other words, after this incident, it is very likely that two or more parallel time and space will be born. For example, if because of this incident, Uzumaki Naruto is not born at that time, will this Naruto disappear after returning? Of course not, he already exists, and there is a history in his world where this incident has not happened. Then there will be no disappearance problem. It is a story that happened in another parallel time and space. However, time and space are corrective. As long as it does not exceed too much, Naruto will still be born. The difference is that it may be a few days later or a few days earlier. Don't you want to know that you have a son in the future, Uncle Akamichi? And Uncle Joey? Naruto said with a smile, and quickly grasped the psychology of several people. And Namikaze Minato, you don't want to know what happens in the future, maybe you can avoid it in advance. Even if the things before I was born are not quite the same, they are very close. In other words, that is what will happen to you in the future. Naruto's words surprised Minato, including Akamichi Choza and others. Little Kakashi showed a curious look, obviously also very curious about what will happen to him in the future. Orochimaru looked at Naruto curiously, watching Naruto's operation quietly. Seeing that everyone was very interested, Naruto said, "In the future, Uncle Akamichi and Uncle Aburame will have Asen. They were born at about the same time as me, and we are classmates in the same class. They are very similar to you, and they all have outstanding talents." When Naruto said that they would have a son, the two were excited, and they couldn't help but be excited and happy. Little Kakashi couldn't help but stare at Naruto, as if he also wanted to know about himself, but his cold personality prevented him from speaking. Naruto Hayate on the side also said, "Yes, I am still good friends with Choji and the others. We used to skip classes together." As soon as Naruto Hayate opened his mouth, Akamichi Choza and Aburame Shiwe looked at Namikaze Minato in an instant. Namikaze Minato also smiled awkwardly. It seems that his son is a poor student. Akamichi Choza was very excited when he heard his son's name. "Is my future son called Choji?" "Yeah, that's right, and Shikamaru, Ino and the others are also my good friends." Naruto Hayate continued. When Akamichi Choza heard the names of Shikamaru and Ino, he was stunned for a moment. These names should be the descendants of his friends. He couldn't help but feel happy. "Ha ha ha, what about your father, Naruto? Will he be okay in the future?" Akamichi Choza happily patted Naruto Hayate on the shoulder. He also wanted to know about their future life. But he didn't expect Naruto's eyes to dim in an instant. "Father, I don't have a father. I'm an orphan. But even so, I will become Hokage." Naruto's trembling voice came, then he showed a confident smile. Minato Namikaze and the other two trembled in their hearts. Naruto is actually an orphan. How is this possible? Could it be that Minato will die in the future? The three of them were shocked and frowned. Seeing the look of everyone, Orochimaru sighed, and then looked at Naruto Hayate with sympathy. He is still in Konoha now, but the descendants of heroes are facing such treatment. Suddenly, Naruto and the others were shrouded in a white light. Naruto understood that it was the power of the dragon vein that was expelling them, and they carried the marks of different time and space. The sudden change surprised several people. It's too late to explain many things. Naruto suddenly thought of something, took out a book and threw it to Minato Namikaze, and also threw him a scroll. Inside the scroll, Naruto left a consciousness. Even if it was the same as Minato Namikaze had left in Naruto's body. Soon, Naruto and his companions disappeared in front of Minato Namikaze and others. What Naruto didn't expect was that his move to change Minato Namikaze's life brought huge changes to Minato Namikaze's time and space. Minato Namikaze, who was infected by the Red Thought, had an unprecedentedly high consciousness. Before the Nine Tails Rebellion, he used a secret method to make Naruto born in advance, ambushed the Masked Man, gathered strength with the Red Thought, fought against the Third Generation, and recalled Orochimaru. In the Ninja World War, he was recognized by the tailed beasts and became the Little Ten Tails Jinchuriki. With the help of the Six Paths, he and Naruto and others sealed Kagaya. When the Otsutsuki attacked, he took the opportunity to integrate the ninja world and established an empire. And the name of Minato Namikaze was also widely spread in the ninja world, and was called the Emperor of the Ages. Chapter 222. White light flashed, and the two Naruto, Yamato, and Orochimaru were all teleported back to their own time and space. Naruto was quite satisfied with this trip. Although it was short, it was worth it. He personally saw the living Namikaze Minato. Although he was a time traveler, his soul had already merged with Naruto, instead of taking over his body. The feeling of blood connection in his body also made Naruto feel cordial. The two returned to their own time and space. Looking at the sealed dragon vein, Naruto knew that they did not travel through the time and space with them as the history. "Who are you?" At this time, a voice appeared. Naruto and Orochimaru looked towards the voice, and a beautiful figure appeared in front of them. It looked a bit similar to Sarah. Naruto and Orochimaru instantly realized that this girl should be a survivor of Lulin. Hello, my name is Uzumaki Naruto, I have no ill intentions. Naruto said with a smile. What are you doing here? The girl said again, with a clear look of vigilance in her eyes, and her eyes looked in the direction of the dragon vein seal from time to time. Naruto instantly saw through the girl's mind. Are you worried that they are bad guys who are plotting against the dragon vein? Don't worry, we are all from the Umbrella Organization, and we won't plot against you. This time, we are here to solve the problem of the dragon vein. This sealed dragon vein was also sealed by my father. Naruto explained. The girl became more vigilant after hearing Naruto's words, because her elders taught her that those who plotted against the dragon vein were bad guys. When he heard Naruto's next sentence, his vigilance was relaxed a little. Because according to the rumors of the adults, there was indeed an adult who helped them seal the dragon vein. Child, who are these people? A middle-aged woman who looked to be in her teens came over and said, looking at Naruto with a vigilant look in her eyes. Naruto couldn't help but be a little speechless. Does he look like a bad guy? Is it not? Suddenly, Naruto looked at Orochimaru. It would be reasonable to say that Orochimaru looked like a bad guy. Hello, madam, we are from Umbrella. This time we are here to solve the dragon vein problem that my father sealed. Naruto explained carefully. He already knew the identities of these people. Umbrella Organization. The middle-aged woman was startled when she heard what Naruto said, and then showed a surprised expression. I'm so sorry, it's the old lady who neglected me. My name is Yi Nai Shang, not Madam. Madam is mostly the name of noble women in the ninja world, and middle-aged people are already considered long-lived in the ninja world. The average life expectancy in the ninja world is less than 30 years old. Most of them are because of war. Come with me. After Yi Nai Shang said this, she turned around and walked back. Naruto and Orochimaru looked at each other, and followed Yi Nai Shang, who could be called an old lady, into a building. After brewing tea for the two, Yi Nai Shang knelt on the ground and began to tell the two. It seemed that they were once a noble family. We are all the survivors of Lulin. More than 20 years ago, a ninja from Konoha helped us defeat the bad guys who were causing trouble in the country and helped us solve the dragon vein problem. You should be the descendant of that ninja. Yi Nai Shang looked at Naruto and said. Naruto asked curiously, then do you know why Lulin has declined like this? He also saw the high tower of Lulin when he traveled through time and space. Now it has become so dilapidated. The country has long disappeared. A trace of nostalgia flashed in Yi Nai Shang's eyes, and then he sighed and said, alas, although the bad guy who harmed the country was solved, the country was also in tatters. Our Queen Sarah also chose to disband the country, became the guardian of the dragon vein, and led us to live in seclusion. But this chaotic world is not so easy to avoid. The Ninja World War was in chaos. Our Lulin was also affected. We lived a life of fear afterwards. Queen Sarah fell ill for various reasons. The girl you just saw is the princess of Queen Sarah, and I was the maid of Queen Sarah back then. Speaking of which, if it weren't for your umbrella organization, our lives would probably not be so quiet these years. Naruto was also shocked when he heard Yi Nai Shang's last words. Then Yi Nai Shang explained to Naruto. He also understood what happened. No wonder he was so polite to them at the beginning. A few years ago, the Umbrella slowly expanded and recruited peripheral members, and the Umbrella of Lulin naturally came into contact with these people. Others may not be interested in these ordinary people, but the Umbrella organization never refuses anyone. Speaking of which, there are many people in Lulin who joined the Umbrella organization, and some of them joined the Seven Colors Chamber of Commerce to do business. Because of the protection of the Umbrella organization, the lives of these Lulin survivors are also hopeful. Therefore, Yi Nai Shang respects the people of the Umbrella organization very much. After listening to all the things that happened, Naruto couldn't help but smile. It seems that what he did bring some changes to the civilians in the ninja world. For a moment, Naruto couldn't help but feel a little melancholy. The huge Lulin has turned into ruins in just 20 years. Without its own armed forces, no one cares about these small countries. In an instant, it turned into a pile of yellow earth. Most people in the ninja world are short-sighted, and no one cares about these ordinary people. How many people have been poisoned by the ninja world war? He has seen a lot in the past few years of walking in the ninja world. They only care about their own interests with national ideas. The nobles rarely care about civilians, and the gap between the rich and the poor is huge. Even Naruto in the original work, although his starting point was good, was limited by the times and only cared about his own Konoha village. The rain country that Nagato entrusted to him became a place for the 5 major countries to dump garbage. At that time, the Industrial Revolution had completely enveloped the ninja world, and all the garbage produced was piled up in the rain country. The rain country had long been unable to survive and even became the base of the Kara organization. How ridiculous! From Naruto's perspective in the 21st century, although the ninja world has been extremely developed, it still continues the one country one village system of Hashirama Senju, and the nobles and ninjas occupy great benefits. The scene of corpses everywhere in the rain country probably didn't attract many people. Hanzo made the rain country strong by his own strength, and even after Nagato killed Hanzo, other ninja villages didn't know the current situation of the rain country. This is the deterrent power of Hanzo back then. The title of demigod in the ninja world is not for nothing. Nagato used the power of the tailed beasts to intimidate the ninja world. Naruto thought that there was nothing wrong with this path. However, it failed in the end and was a bit too idealistic. The lives of the lower-class people did not change after all. Even if it succeeded, it would only change the current situation of the ninja world. When the intimidation disappears, the ninja world is still the same ninja world. Only red ideas and hard work can save the ninja world. Chapter 223. After seeing Lulin's fate, Naruto became more determined to change the idea of the ninja world. Since he has the ability, why not create a prosperous world on the basis of survival? Men always have a sentiment to expand territory and establish unparalleled merits. This sentiment has long been imprinted in the depths of his soul. That sentiment is called the descendants of the dragon. After sighing, Naruto said, "You are polite. Since you know the umbrella organization, you also know what our purpose is. Sooner or later, the ninja world will usher in peace." Well, I believe it. There was a glimmer of hope in Yi Naixiang's eyes, and there was a smile on the corners of her mouth. The wrinkles on her face seemed to have disappeared a lot because of her mood. "We come here this time to rely on the power of the dragon vein to help us develop. I hope to get your consent," Naruto said politely. Although he could collect the dragon vein without their consent, Naruto gave enough respect to the Lulin survivors who guarded the dragon vein. Yi Naixiang hesitated a little, just looking at Naruto, and after a minute, she said, "Okay, kid, I see a light in you that I have never seen before." Her words made Naruto and Orochimaru a little happy. Orochimaru looked at Naruto. How could he not see that light in Naruto? That light of hope, the light of technology. With infinite possibilities. "I am glad to have your support." Naruto stood up and said. Ding ding ding, ding. Sounds rang out from Naruto's body. Naruto apologized, turned around and walked out of the room. After answering the phone, Gaara's voice came from the other end of the phone. "Naruto, I need your help with something." Gaara's tired voice came from the phone. Naruto laughed and said, "Is it easy to be the case cage?" Gaara on the other end of the phone rolled his eyes and then said, "I found that it is not so easy to be a qualified leader. Not only do you have to care about the village's financial problems, but also development and people's livelihood. Although it is a bit tiring, I like this feeling." Gaara's voice with a little joy came from the other end of the phone. Compared with the numb life of living on blood, the current life makes him find the meaning of life. Control the Sand Village and pave the way for Naruto. Help Naruto become stronger, these are his goals. "Okay, no more nonsense, what help do you need?" Naruto said quickly. Gaara stopped talking nonsense and said directly, "Last year, we have already implemented the afforestation plan you proposed, but it will take at least 10 years for this plan to succeed. Sand Village can't wait that long. You also know that Sand Village is very short of water, and expanding the oasis is imperative. The south to north water diversion plan is also being implemented. At the same time, the warrior plan has also begun to be implemented. In order to strengthen the strength of Sand Village, Gaara began to train a group of warriors to expand the strength of Sand Village. This group of warriors all have a high degree of recognition of the umbrella. Gaara is beginning to infiltrate all aspects of the umbrella into the Sand Village." After listening to Gaara's words, Naruto blinked a few times and began to think. The dry and high-temperature resistant seedlings they studied through chakra are definitely suitable for planting in the desert. Relying on the oasis, by planting such seedlings on the periphery, the scope of the oasis can be gradually expanded. Now Gaara is short of manpower, and a little manpower can't solve Gaara's problems at all. "Got it. Wait for me for 2 days, and I'll give you a group of people and a good helper in a few days." Naruto suddenly had a good plan. Naruto hung up the phone, said goodbye to Orochimaru, and returned to the umbrella organization. Since he had already explored the dragon veins, he would naturally send people to study it. The centipede can use the power of the dragon veins, and there is no reason why the umbrella organization, which has many talents, can't use it. After that, Naruto found Tsunade, who was conducting experiments. When Tsunade saw the two of them, she couldn't help but roll her eyes. "You are really a busy man." Tsunade thought that the two were looking for her to start the experiment, but she didn't expect Naruto to say something that made her speechless. "Tsunade, I want to borrow a ninja from you," Naruto said with a smile. Tsunade glanced at Naruto and said, "You have so many strong men under you, do you still need to ask me to borrow someone?" "No way, there are too few people with special talents." Naruto waved his hand. Naruto's words actually made Tsunade a little interested. "Who do you want to find? I'll see if anyone is worthy of your evaluation." Tsunade took off her white gloves and said, "I want to borrow Konoha Village Yamato, the guy who can use wood release." Tsunade obviously has an impression of Yamato. Yamato had been working under Danzo before. He was once an experimental subject of Orochimaru. At that time, Orochimaru thought that no one could withstand the power of wood release, but Yamato actually endured it, and Danzo also found Yamato who was dying, and named him Tenzo. Now Yamato has become a ninja in the Anbu, because the route has been cancelled. Being able to use wood release can be said to be a special talent. By the way, what do you need him for? I have a project, and I need someone who can plant trees recently. Yamato looks good. One person is equivalent to hundreds of people. Naruto waved his hand, as if he was talking about something insignificant. "What? You want to use my wood release ninja to plant trees? You can think of it." Tsunade said in shock. "You don't understand. Gaara needs a group of people. We are going to the desert to plant this time. Do you know how much help the residents of Wind Country will have if the oasis area is increased? When Gaara's prestige is unprecedentedly high and exceeds that of the daimyo, Wind Country will be the first big country we conquer. The Wind Country looks poor on the surface, but there are oil resources in the desert that Naruto needs. In other words, as long as the value of oil is developed, he can earn countless wealth." Tsunade didn't know what to say, and secretly admired Naruto. Unknowingly, the shadow of a village had secretly surrendered to Naruto. In addition to Konoha, Konoha itself also has a book that joined Naruto, but the relationship in Konoha is a bit complicated. There are many ninja clans, and there is no pure sand village. "Okay, I'll give you a handwritten order, and you can directly dispatch Yamato when the time comes," Tsunade said slowly. Then she looked at Orochimaru and said, "Orochimaru, I wonder what you think of my grandfather's cell research." Naruto saw this and knew that Tsunade was sending him away, but he was very satisfied with Tsunade's attitude. There are very few top research talents who are so diligent. Chapter 224. Naruto uses Flying Thunder God to quickly shuttle through the ninja world. His Flying Thunder God is still inferior to Minato Namikaze. Being able to sense the Flying Thunder God mark within a few hundred meters at a time is already the limit, but he relies on the way of heaven to reward hard work, and Naruto's proficiency in Flying Thunder God has increased rapidly, which makes Minato Namikaze sigh with emotion. This is the first time he has seen such a talent as Naruto. I am afraid that there has never been such an almighty existence like Naruto in the ages. Relying on the ability of God to reward hard work, Naruto has made progress in the three aspects of ninjutsu, body and illusion. Even the level of sealing technique, barrier technique, medical ninjutsu, martial arts, and even scientific research ability is not bad. You must know that ordinary people can't study so many things at all, and they don't have time to learn. Forced learning will only make that person look more mediocre. Orochimaru also wanted to learn all ninjutsu in the past, but Orochimaru chose to specialize in his own snake-style ninjutsu. In the process of learning ninjutsu, Orochimaru saw the brevity of life, and war made him understand the fragility of life. Therefore, he chose to embark on the path of pursuing immortality. And Naruto's ability is destined to allow him to reach a very high level, and singleness may allow him to improve his strength quickly. But when facing a stronger enemy with many means, Naruto will be stretched to the limit. Naruto also knows this problem, so he chose to enrich his means as much as possible. And these have become his solid foundation. If the strength is improved too quickly, some things will often be ignored. Not long after, Naruto came to Konoha. After learning Flying Thunder God, Naruto began to spread his Flying Thunder God mark throughout the ninja world. Of course, it is not arranged everywhere, but chooses a few hidden places. After Naruto came to Konoha, he immediately started to perceive, and Naruto's mouth corners slightly raised, found it. Swoosh! Naruto disappeared on the roof. On a training ground, Yamato was training, and Naruto's figure had quietly come to a big tree. Naruto's breath suddenly leaked a little. Who? Yamato instantly shot a shuriken in the direction of Naruto, and then his arm turned into a tree and rolled towards Naruto. Naruto jumped away, dodged the attack of the kunai, and faced the attack of the wood escape. Naruto punched directly. A powerful force burst out, and in an instant, the huge wood escape turned into flying debris. Naruto stood up, and Yamato also saw who was coming. As for just now, Naruto deliberately let Yamato find out. Uzumaki Naruto. Yamato seemed a little surprised. Now he is not familiar with Naruto, and Naruto took a step forward and said, I came here this time to ask you for help. This is Tsunade's handwritten order. Naruto smiled and handed Yamato a scroll. Yamato took it and looked at it. The general idea was to let him cooperate with Naruto and obey Naruto's orders. This place was indeed Tsunade's handwriting and communication method. Excuse me, Naruto-kun. Yamato apologized for his previous behavior. Naruto waved his hand and said, It's okay. On the contrary, I am very satisfied with your vigilance. Naruto was telling the truth. Yamato, who once lived in the root, was very vigilant about all changes. And Yamato's strength is not bad. He belongs to the level of elite Jonin. Don't look at this. In fact, he is younger than Kakashi. This time, I need you for a month. Happy cooperation next time. Naruto stretched out a hand to Yamato. The two held their hands tightly together. Yamato imitated Naruto and said a happy cooperation. The two left Konoha. According to Naruto's introduction, the location of this mission was in the Kingdom of Wind. After leaving Konoha, Yamato began to rush towards the direction of the Kingdom of Wind. No need to be so troublesome. Naruto grabbed Yamato's arm, and after a few changes, he came to the scope of the Wind Country. As soon as Naruto stopped, Yamato couldn't help vomiting. Naruto smiled at Yamato's appearance. He was negligent. Yamato was not used to the feeling of space change. Yamato looked at Naruto, who couldn't help laughing on the side, and he swore that he didn't want to do this again. Ah! Then, Yamato vomited again. 10 minutes later, Yamato gradually recovered. No, let's hurry on. Yamato waved his hand quickly and started to move forward. Seeing this, Naruto couldn't help shaking his head. He understood Yamato's feeling, just like he would get carsick in his previous life. The dizzy feeling was really unbearable. It was only later that it gradually got better. Yamato, slow down, do you know the direction of the destination? Naruto chased after him, gradually walked in front of Yamato, and changed direction. When Yamato heard what Naruto said, he followed behind Naruto. As for the feeling before, he never wanted to experience it again. Soon, under Naruto's leadership, the two arrived at the destination. Gaara was already waiting here. Gaara. Naruto called Gaara from a distance. After seeing Naruto, Gaara came to Naruto happily. Naruto, you are here so soon. Who is this? Gaara said happily. Naruto glanced around. There were already a lot of people coming and going, and thousands of people surrounded the oasis. Seedlings were being planted. These seedlings were all developed by the Umbrella Organization and were more suitable for the desert environment. However, only by building around the oasis can the survival rate be better guaranteed. This is Yamato, the wood release ninja of Konoha village, the expert I invited. Naruto explained with a smile. After hearing what Naruto said, Gaara instantly understood that planting trees or something like that would be more feasible than a wood release ninja. Only Yamato was confused. What kind of expert am I? How come I don't know? The other group of people should arrive in 3 days. Naruto looked at the crowd in the distance and said. Thank you, Naruto-kun. Gaara said to Naruto gratefully. Naruto patted Gaara on the shoulder and said, with our relationship, there's no need to say so much. Naruto turned to look at Yamato and said, Yamato, let's get to work. Your task is to use your ability to plant those saplings, or to help the oasis with afforestation. I don't care what method you use. In short, I want this desert to become green. What Naruto said made him a little stunned. What? The important task you mentioned before was to plant trees. The task this time is for me to plant trees. Yamato asked in disbelief. Yamato, you are not aware enough. This is not a simple tree planting. After several years, when the oasis expands, do you know how many people in the wind country will benefit from it? And at that time, they will all remember your contribution. Naruto said with a smile, but Yamato always had a chilling feeling. It was like selling people and helping to count the money. Chapter 225. Yamato had no choice but to follow Naruto's arrangement and followed Gaara and Naruto to the tree planting area. Yamato felt a positive emotion from the people coming and going that he had never seen before. Thousands of people surrounded the oasis, and ordinary people were mixed in with the ninjas. This combination made Yamato look sideways. It was clearly visible that not far away, the ninjas used earth escape to create a pit, then pulled it with their hands, and then used earth escape to plant the saplings, and then dripped a little unknown liquid. There were also some ordinary people who spontaneously planted with shovels. Although they were not as fast as the ninjas, at least they contributed. In fact, these ordinary people were residents of the Kingdom of Wind. After knowing Gaara's plan, they came to help plant trees spontaneously. Because they knew what the oasis meant to their desert villagers. It often means hope. The oasis in the desert feeds countless villagers in the Kingdom of Wind. No one had ever thought of this plan before. Even if there was an oasis expansion, it would be difficult to implement the action. In addition, the manpower was declining and the seedlings could hardly survive. Now, a new type of seedling has appeared, and the Cage personally organized this plan, which made the villagers who heard the news come to help Gaara spontaneously. Originally, this plan was to use all ninjas. But ninjas are a minority after all, and there are many oases. If they are dispersed, the number of ninjas will not be many. After listening to Naruto's explanation, Yamato also used the special ability of wood release to move directly. He used the power of wood release to directly generate a towering tree. But such trees do not look a bit too desolate. Naruto reminded Yamato, now we don't want you to fight, but to build a complete ecological forest. You can try to change the structure of ninjutsu. Reduce the power of ninjutsu, so as to improve other aspects, such as vitality, adaptability to the environment, etc. Naruto's words also made Yamato realize instantly that this time it was not to kill the enemy. Although he had realized it, he inadvertently created trees that were still not suitable for desert survival. They will probably die slowly in the future. Only by using drought-resistant and high-temperature-resistant trees suitable for desert survival can we succeed. It is not impossible to completely reduce the power of wood release. In addition, with your ability, you can try to ripen those seedlings. After Naruto said this, Yamato understood better, but he was still a little speechless in his heart. He was a wood release ninja, but he had fallen to the level of planting trees. But he could vaguely feel that this was a more important thing. He was not from the wind country, and he could not understand what the oasis meant to them like the people of the wind country. I can't understand their feelings for the oasis. But he also knows that this is something that benefits the people. This kind of thing is always more enjoyable than killing people. Yamato's move also shocked a large number of people. With his special ability, Yamato can not only create trees out of thin air, but also plant seedlings thousands of times faster than ordinary people. With one move, dozens of seedlings were planted. Naruto is very satisfied with Yamato's efficiency. Yamato alone is enough to replace many people. At this time, the Akatsuki organization, which has long been eyeing the umbrella organization, has already come to the snow country after a long journey. Kakuzu really doesn't want to face the umbrella organization, but he dare not face the anger of the leader. He has seen the strength of pain before. Not to mention that he is as strong as Hashirama Senju, but he is also the most powerful person he has ever seen. Kakuzu and Hidan looked at the snow country, which has undergone earth-shaking changes, in a trance. Trains are everywhere, and tall buildings are everywhere. Technology is changing this country. This place is a bit like the rain country, but the rain country has a sense of dust and dusk. Covered by rain all day long, although there will be sunny days, but compared with here, it always feels that something is missing. Hidan and Kakuzu sneaked into the snow country, but they were actually discovered by Shisui. The snow country has long created a device that can sense huge chakra. As long as the chakra of the cage level enters the snow country, it will be monitored. Kakuzu and Hidan are in a small hotel at the moment, enjoying food. But they didn't notice that a camera was hanging in the corner of the hotel at this moment. Yes, this is a surveillance camera, and only the umbrella organization has such a thing at present, and Hidan and Kakuzu don't know it at all. Even if they see it, they will only think it is just a decoration. Hidan is eating food unscrupulously now. The food in the snow country is still very good, but Kakuzu has a slightly bad feeling in his heart. I hope I'm wrong. Kakuzu sighed. At this time, at the umbrella base, Shisui, Zabuza and others looked at the surveillance screen. Since they came out in the open, they have long realized that many people will come to attack them. In fact, Kakuzu and others are not the first group of people to come to the snow country. There are spies arranged in the 5 major countries who want to hide in the umbrella organization, but these people have failed. And the Akatsuki organization came to cause trouble later than Naruto expected. Do you need to notify Naruto? Next to Shisui, Zabuza looked at him and said. Today's Shisui, the momentum of a superior is completely different from his past. Without Naruto, he is the highest leader of Umbrella. Shisui shook his head and said, Naruto has already given us their intelligence. If we can't do this, then we are useless. Let's go and entertain our guests. Shisui stood up, followed by Zabuza and Uchiha Izumi. After the few people left, a few papers on the table were blown by the wind, revealing the appearance of a person. It was written on it that Kakuzu, a ninja from the first generation, could obtain a heart through the secret technique of earth resentment to increase his lifespan. A heart is also a life. A heart with 5 attributes of wind, thunder, water, fire and earth. And Kakuzu was getting more and more uneasy, only Hidan was still shouting. Kakuzu frowned and said, "Hidan, we should go, I have a bad feeling." Kakuzu's survival to this day is inseparable from his vigilance. In countless battles, this whim saved him several times. "Brother Kakuzu, these things are so delicious, it's a pity if you don't eat them. Wait until I'm full, then I'll offer those people to the evil god." Hidan was yelling, his immortal body made him almost unaware of fear. "Oh, do you want to leave? Unfortunately, you can't leave." A voice came. Kakuzu sighed, and his bad premonition in his heart really came true. Chapter 226. The two looked in the direction of the sound, and several figures stood in front of them. Shisui, Zabuza, Uchiha Yu, Sasuke and others were also here. From here, it can be seen that Shisui still attaches great importance to Kakuzu and Hidan. Sasuke also looked at the two curiously. Sasuke looked at Kakuzu, and a trace of curiosity flashed across his eyes and said, "Is this guy really alive from the first generation?" Living from the first generation to the present, this person is already 100 years old, so terrifying. "Well, that's right, Sasuke, there are still many strange people in the world, don't underestimate others," Shisui said gently to Sasuke. He still liked Sasuke, the younger brother of this good friend. Thinking of Itachi, Shisui's eyes couldn't help but dim. Itachi had already embarked on the wrong path. Why didn't I see it at the beginning? If he couldn't even protect his family, and couldn't even protect his closest relatives, then what's the harm in Konoha being destroyed? Moreover, the one who destroyed his family was the Konoha he had always protected. How sad. Now Shisui felt that he was so stupid in the past, and Itachi was even more stupid. Shisui came to his senses and looked at Kakuzu and Hidan. Naruto-kun had said that Hidan had a special physique and was immortal. If he could study it, he would surely gain a lot. After being polished, Shisui also had many ideas about how to maximize the benefits. After all, only when you have been a family, you know that if you want to develop a force, necessary savings are indispensable. "Since you are here, stay here as a guest," Shisui said loudly. Kakuzu's face gradually became ugly. Hidan was excited and said, "With so many people, I'm sure the evil god will be very surprised. I will offer you all to the evil god." "Shut up, Hidan," Kakuzu scolded. "You have to know that these people in front of him are all strong people, not the fools that Hidan had met before. But the arrow is on the string and it has to be shot." Kakuzu quickly formed a seal with his hands. Fire escape, head hard. A huge flame exploded in the hotel in an instant. Fortunately, the owner of the hotel had already left. The huge smoke caused Kakuzu and his men disappeared in the eyes of everyone. Shisui raised his mouth slightly and shouted, "Chase!" In the wilderness, Kakuzu was surrounded by Shisui and others. Seeing this scene, Kakuzu's face became more and more ugly, and he also understood Shisui's plan. Before, Shisui deliberately let the two of them leave in order not to damage the building. Fighting in the town was okay, and he could also take hostages. He was careless. Shisui and others surrounded the two people in a triangular shape. Shisui warned them, "Be careful not to let the other guy get your blood. His ability is to cast spells through blood. Once he gets the blood, the only outcome is death." Shisui's voice was not loud, but not small either. Kakuzu's eyelids jumped when he heard Shisui's voice. It seems that the other side is well prepared. For a moment, he couldn't help but resent Hidan's crow mouth. Why did he want to take on this task? Seeing himself surrounded, Hidan didn't feel surrounded at all. Instead, he said arrogantly, "Do you know who my big brother Kakuzu is? My big brother Kakuzu is the god of the ninja world and fought the first generation of Hokage for 300 rounds. Looking at Hidan's smug expression, Kakuzu's face also felt hot and embarrassed. If I had known earlier, I wouldn't have boasted to Hidan. This guy really has a problem with his brain. Sasuke and the others who heard what Feijuan said were all surprised. They didn't expect that this weirdo in front of them had fought with the first generation of Hokage, and their faces became solemn. Shisui couldn't help but laugh when he heard this. Naruto told him that Kakuzu was indeed a person who survived the first generation. He also told him a joke, the story of throwing shurikens from 800 miles away. Shisui took a step forward and said, fighting with the first generation of Hokage, isn't it the one who threw shurikens from 800 miles away? Kakuzu seemed to feel insulted. He thought that he had indeed fought with the first generation, although he was only the wooden clone of the first generation of Hokage. Shisui's words instantly made Sasuke and the others laugh. Damn it, brother Kakuzu, they are looking down on you. Go, show them some color. Feijuan was still arrogant. Kakuzu's face became darker and darker. He started to act directly, and his hands quickly formed seals. Lightning release. Pseudo-darkness. Thunderbolts fell from the sky, and several people jumped and dodged, but what followed was the bombardment of Kakuzu's 5-attribute human ninjutsu. Sasuke looked at Kakuzu's attack, and the seriousness on his face was particularly serious. Lightning release. Pseudo-darkness. Chidori. Like 1,000 birds chirping, lightning flashed from Sasuke's hands, and Sasuke rushed directly towards Kakuzu, as fast as lightning. With the delay of Shisui and others, Sasuke's attack successfully hit Hidan. Successful. Seeing that his attack pierced Kakuzu's heart, Sasuke smiled a winner. Sasuke, be careful, Kakuzu has 5 hearts, he has 5 lives, if you want to kill him, you need to destroy his 5 hearts. Shisui shouted loudly, but it was too late. Kakuzu's attack was about to fall on Sasuke, but suddenly he saw Sasuke's Scarlet 3 Magatama Sharingan. Not good. Kakuzu bit his tongue hard and woke up instantly. Sasuke's kunai stabbed at him. Kakuzu immediately pulled back, but Zabuza's beheading sword was coming towards him. And Hidan was not idle either. At the moment when the few people were fighting, the sickle behind Hidan was easily thrown out by him. It seems that he intends to use the sharpness of the sickle to help him get blood. The sickle is extended forward, which was specially made by Hidan. Hidan's strength is actually not very high, maybe only at the level of an elite Jonin, but his immortal body and curse have greatly enhanced his strength. Kakuzu looked at the few people, and a feeling of powerlessness came over him. Shisui stepped forward, patted Zabuza on the shoulder, and said, "Leave Kakuzu to me, and let you deal with Hidan." After saying that, Shisui exuded a powerful aura. It instantly attracted Kakuzu's attention. He was alerted frantically in his heart. Shisui suddenly turned into a series of phantoms and appeared around Kakuzu. This was Shisui's famous ninjutsu, the instant god Shisui. Shisui slashed at Kakuzu with a knife, and Kakuzu quickly launched an attack at Shisui, but it directly penetrated Shisui's figure. Phantom. But the crisis in his heart did not decrease at all. Kakuzu turned over and dodged it, and the phantom just now slashed heavily in the direction where Kakuzu had just stood. I don't know when the phantom switched to the real body. Chapter 227. Just surrender. One after another, phantoms appeared, surrounding Kakuzu, and constantly knocking Kakuzu away. Zabuza was amazed at Shisui's terrifying instant body technique, and his strength had improved again. Shisui stood in front of Kakuzu, and Izumi and others surrounded Kakuzu from all sides. Kakuzu was shocked to see this, and thought that as long as the Green Mountains are there, there will be no shortage of firewood. We know all your information, do you really think you can escape? Just as Kakuzu was wavering, Shisui spoke again, and his words hit his heart. Instantly broke Kakuzu's psychological defense line. Kakuzu was able to survive until now because of his caution and the ability to know the times. Okay, I surrender. Kakuzu said helplessly. Shisui flashed a trace of joy, as long as he brought Kakuzu back, there were many ways to make Kakuzu surrender. For the future cause, they still need more talents to join. Brother Kakuzu, what are you talking about? Hidan on the side looked very surprised. Shisui looked at Yu and Izumi and nodded, and the three people's Sharingan turned at the same time. Three people used illusions on Hidan at the same time. This treatment is also unique. This person has great value, we must take him back. Shisui said solemnly. Several people also nodded. Soon, Hidan fell into a state of unconsciousness under the illusion attack of several people. Shisui came to Hidan in an instant, and the seal rune of unknown origin instantly enveloped Hidan. Seal Hidan up. Sasuke looked at Hidan curiously and asked, why can't he move? What seal did you cast? Actually, I cast two seals, the limb stiffness technique and the immobilization seal. These two seals are enough to make him unable to move. Shisui explained. These are just two very common sealing techniques, but in Shisui's hands, they are combined. Turn decay into magic. What did you do to me? Hidan woke up, only his eyes and mouth could move. He yelled loudly. Hidan looked handsome, why was he so long-winded and crazy? Shisui had no choice but to seal Hidan's mouth again. Let's go back. Shisui said, and seemed to remember something, and added, oh, by the way, you, remember to reimburse the loss of the store. Uchiha Yu waved his hand, got it. The Kingdom of Wind. On Naruto's side, Yamato was still planting trees crazily. With Yamato's ability of wood escape, Yamato alone could be as good as hundreds of ninjas and tens of thousands of ordinary people. In the past few days, the people from the umbrella also took action quickly. Although the strength of those sent by Naruto was not strong, they all knew a little earth escape ninjutsu. This greatly accelerated Gaara's plan. At the same time, some people were secretly dispatched to develop oil resources. Yamato, you have worked hard during this period. Naruto patted Yamato's shoulder happily. During this period, the two of them have become familiar with each other. For this nine-tailed Jinchuriki who once defected from Konoha, Yamato has also seen what the real Naruto is like. He is powerful, friendly, and has a gleam of wisdom on him, but he is a little bit inhuman. He has been working day and night recently. After the chakra was exhausted, Naruto directly used the nine-tailed chakra to replenish his chakra. He almost died of exhaustion. But in return, the oasis was covered with a large area of green. And his behavior also won the favor of a group of Sand Village ninjas. Since Gaara came to power, the life of Sand Village has gradually improved, which is inseparable from the help of the Seven Colors Chamber of Commerce. The desert is poor. In order to help them revive their economy and develop industries, Naruto has also made great efforts. The money spent has reached tens of billions, which is comparable to the annual expenses of a ninja village. This money has directly brought about huge changes in Sand Village. Although the strength of Sand Village has not improved much, the life satisfaction has increased a lot. What is the purpose of their battle? Isn't it to make the life of the village and the family better? This move directly won a large number of people's hearts. The catering industry, clothing industry, and light industry have developed rapidly in Sand Village and the Kingdom of Wind. Just when Naruto and others were working hard, Naruto suddenly received a call from Shisui. What did you say? 2 people from the Akatsuki organization were captured. Kakuzu, Hidan. Naruto seemed a little surprised. He didn't expect Shisui to capture them alive. Did you say you wanted to study Hidan's ability? Naruto heard the voice on the phone. Seeing Shisui's intention, he couldn't help but touch his chin and think. Hidan has an immortal body, which is indeed of great research value. It is not necessary to copy all of Hidan's abilities. As long as it can be studied to make people heal quickly, it is enough to improve the life-saving ability of the members of the Umbrella Organization. Thinking of this, Naruto said goodbye to Yamato and Gaara, and rushed back to the Snow Country with the Flying Thunder God. When he returned to the Snow Country, Naruto couldn't wait to find Shisui. Where are the two people you mentioned? Naruto asked. I sent Hidan to Orochimaru and Tsunade, and Kakuzu was temporarily detained by me. Shisui replied. Naruto nodded. He knew where Orochimaru and Tsunade worked. It was the building near the mountain. Without saying anything nonsense, Naruto went directly to the building. It was an experimental building built by Naruto. Not only was there a biological laboratory for Orochimaru and his team, but also many research projects of Umbrella. There are many barriers and seals set up, and the security level is very high. As soon as Naruto entered the laboratory, he saw Orochimaru and Tsunade drawing blood from Hidan for research. This guy's genes are quite weird. There is a mysterious factor in it that gives his cells super vitality and recovery. Orochimaru said slowly. I always feel that there is a strange power in his body. Tsunade frowned. Naruto, why are you here? The two looked up and saw Naruto walking in. I heard what Shisui said, and I was a little curious, so I came to see. I am also curious about what made him immortal. Naruto explained, and glanced at Hidan on the stage. His whole body was sealed and his mouth could not speak, but he could see Hidan's madness from his eyes. Let me see. Naruto said that his own experimental ability was not inferior to the two, and this was also thanks to the ability of God's reward for hard work. Naruto took a drop of Hidan's blood, and powerful mental power came out of his body. The eyeshadow of the sage mode appeared, and the mental power gradually covered Hidan's blood. Under the gaze of Orochimaru and Tsunade, Naruto's power merged into the blood. At this moment, in the depths of the universe, an unknown existence, hundreds of feet tall, opened his eyes. God, what happened? It doesn't matter, there are ants spying on my power scattered around the world. The unknown existence slowly closed his eyes, leaving only endless divine power floating in the universe. The dark breath connected the void, and a picture appeared. The blue planet appeared. God, this seems to be the star field where the Otsutsuki clan is located. My faith is everywhere, and one day, the power of God will cover the universe. The huge figure then fell into a deep sleep, as if nothing had happened. Chapter 228. Orochimaru and Tsunade looked at Naruto. Naruto now exuded a powerful and otherworldly aura, as if he was a celestial being descended from heaven to earth. After an unknown amount of time, Naruto opened his eyes and slowly said, it seems that there is an unknown power in Feijuan's cells, which keeps him immortal in a way that I cannot understand for the time being. The reason why Naruto used this method to feel Feijuan's cells was mainly to explore the power contained in Feijuan's cells. Feijuan's power came from an organization called the Evil God Cult, which was created by a group of crazy people. Feijuan himself was also a member of the Evil God Cult. He was able to be named a god. Naruto was naturally interested in the so-called evil gods, and even the god of death. The ninja world lacked a complete 6 reincarnations, so where did the god of death come from? It stands to reason that the god of death should exist in the Pure Land, but the Pure Land was opened up by the 6 Paths Sage. Then the god of death is likely to exist in a space that is not in the ninja world. Or the god of death is a product of rules. Orochimaru and Tsunade looked at Naruto. Seeing that Naruto had exited the sage mode, they asked in unison, can this power be copied? Naruto shook his head. Both of them were a little disappointed. Unexpectedly, Naruto suddenly said, it is impossible to copy the ability of immortality at this stage, but the healing ability of Feijuan can still be studied. Just like we can't study the wood release of the first generation of Hokage, but we can also study the existence of a weakened version. Feijuan's healing ability is still good. Although Naruto's words disappointed the two, the healing ability is also very good. Naruto threw the cell to Orochimaru, who took it and put it under the microscope on the laboratory table. Slowly debugging. Through the microscope, Orochimaru saw Feijuan's cells that were different from ordinary people. But in addition to being able to find that it was different from ordinary people and could divide quickly, he could not find the secret of maintaining Feijuan's immortality. This guy's cells are really surprising. An excited look flashed across Orochimaru's face. He seemed to have returned to the time when he was diligently conducting research. The process of uncovering the secrets made him very excited. Tsunade also came over to take a look. When she saw Fei Duan's cells that were different from ordinary people, she frowned and said, "His cell morphology is very strange, giving people a sense of tyranny and chaos." Naruto looked at Tsunade in surprise. He didn't expect Tsunade to see it. He used his powerful mental power and the perception ability of the Sage Mode, and his own understanding of genetics was not bad. He just noticed the weirdness and indescribable nature of Fei Duan's cells. It seems that Tsunade's understanding of human cells is deeper than he thought. Naruto also knew that this might be the power of the so-called evil god. Although the immortal body is strong, Fei Duan's own life level has not changed much. That mysterious power made Fei Duan immortal, but it also made Fei Duan maintain his enthusiasm for the evil god, and his mind was not too normal. Perhaps it is precisely because of this situation that his body can be so magical. Even if he is split, he is still alive. Orochimaru continued with interest. There is a mysterious factor in his body that I don't understand, just like the blood limit. Orochimaru's voice echoed in the laboratory. No, the two are very different. Although the ability of the blood limit will also cause cells to change slightly, the basic form of the cells is still the human form, which is very stable. And Hidan's cells are more like having some kind of will. Tsunade said seriously. Snap, snap, snap. Wonderful. Naruto clapped his hands and praised. During the exploration, Naruto also found that Hidan's cells seemed to have some kind of will, maintaining the life of the cells. In an instant, Naruto's mind flashed like thunder, and a thought emerged in his mind. Is the principle of immortality imprinted in the cells? For example, Indra and Asura, their chakras contain their own will, so they can continue to reincarnate. Or the Six Paths Sage Body, which also has some similar effects. Understanding the meaning of immortality, the super speed regeneration of magical power is upgraded to the primary immortal magical power. Immortal magical power plus 0.05. Will imprint plus 0.01. The sudden sound in his mind made Naruto stunned for a moment. He felt that his super speed regeneration magical power had undergone a wonderful transformation. His super speed regeneration magical power has reached the current stage extreme. Since it is regeneration, there must be a limit. If the injury is too severe, he will definitely die, just like you, Hashirama Senju. The extreme of super speed regeneration is immortality. Immortal Avatar plus 0.1. Will Brand plus 0.05. Naruto's thoughts became clearer and clearer. The help of God's reward for hard work gradually increased with his own understanding. To put it bluntly, God's reward for hard work allowed him to gain several times more than ordinary people, and also made him almost without bottlenecks. Let his understanding of other things far exceed that of ordinary people. Even beyond the limit of the ninja world. Naruto's sluggish performance fell into the eyes of Orochimaru and Tsunade. Naruto, did you think of something? Tsunade asked curiously. Naruto came back to his senses, looked at Orochimaru and Tsunade, and said, I did think of something. Don't you forget the identity of Hidan. Naruto looked at the two and hesitated. The two looked at each other. Hidan's identity, a member of the Akatsuki organization. No, he is a member of the evil god cult. Are you saying that Hidan's power comes from the so-called evil god? Orochimaru showed an exploratory look. Does the evil god really exist? Tsunade frowned, a little unbelieving that the so-called god actually exists. Maybe it exists. For example, hasn't Orochimaru seen the existence of the god of death? Naruto said slowly. I have indeed seen the god of death, and it is indeed an incomprehensible existence. Orochimaru is still palpitating now, palpitating the mysterious power of the god of death, the power that can pull out a person's soul. Looking at Tsunade's solemn expression, Naruto chuckled and said, You don't have to care too much, the so-called god may just be a powerful creature. Isn't the first generation of Hokage called the god of ninja? Naruto's words made Tsunade stunned for a moment. Orochimaru did not have much awe for the so-called gods, but Tsunade still maintained awe for the so-called gods. A god is a powerful creature. Tsunade murmured. Naruto's statement was simply shocking. Chapter 229. As expected of Naruto-kun. You actually have such a conjecture. Orochimaru used honorifics. Although Orochimaru did not have much reverence for the gods, Tsunade was different. In this world, Naruto's theories and statements were obviously a bit unorthodox. However, both of them were not ordinary people. Orochimaru embarked on the path of science and devoted himself to the study of the truth of the world. And Tsunade was also very knowledgeable and had experienced the prosperity and complexity of the world. Her ability to accept was also very strong. What's more, the person who said this was Naruto, so it was naturally reasonable. When a person is extremely powerful, he can also be called a god. Naruto said again, and this time his words made the two of them think deeply. Orochimaru looked at Naruto, as if he saw the windmill of the times spinning rapidly. He couldn't help but smile and said, maybe in a few years, Naruto-kun can also be called a god. Tsunade looked at Orochimaru unexpectedly. She didn't expect Orochimaru to have such a high evaluation of Naruto. Naruto's strength is indeed obvious to all, but can he really reach the level of my grandfather? Tsunade smiled. Who knows? While thinking, Naruto's voice sounded again, thank you for the research on Hidan. If the regeneration ability can be developed, it can improve the survival ability of our soldiers. As for reaching the level of Hidan, I guess I may have to throw myself into the arms of the evil god like Hidan. For now, it is still mainly based on Hashirama cells and Uchiha blood. Naruto's words brought the two back to their senses. The previous discussion of several people seemed a bit beyond the scope. The same is true for Naruto, but he hid the existence of the immortal magic. God rewards hard work is his biggest secret. The primary immortal magic makes Naruto feel that he can regenerate his torso, that is, rebirth of a broken arm. Perhaps the next stage of the immortal magic is rebirth of flesh and blood, and the next stage may be rebirth of blood drops. These are the three stages that Naruto understands, but this is not what he should imagine now. It's a bit far from him now. Naruto's words made the two nod their heads. Hashirama cells also have the ability to heal wounds and regenerate, but the erosion is also terrifying. The erosion of Hashirama cells to ordinary cells is simply terrifying. The use of Hashirama cells in the original work is proved by the appearance of Hashirama's facial makeup. If it is unbalanced, it will be counterattacked by its terrifying wood escape power. Even turned into a towering tree. In the original work, Danzo was almost counterattacked by Hashirama cells, which contributed to the greening of Konoha. Both of them agreed with Naruto's words. It is better to study the familiar Hashirama cells than to study new powers. The power of Senju and Uchiha is definitely not weak. Rain country. The sparse rain fell on the water, and the gloomy weather seemed to be mourning for this country. The news that Kakuzu and Hidan were captured was soon known to the people of Akatsuki. In the tallest building, Nagato looked at the information sent by Zetsu with a gloomy face. A strong aura emanated from him, causing the beauty beside him to frown. As if seeing Conan's slightly frowned brows, Nagato's aura instantly withdrew. With a skinny body, Nagato could only sit in a wheelchair because his foot was injured by the explosion talisman. As a member of the Uzumaki clan, his hair color was dull, and it was obvious that his vitality was damaged. This was because he could not bear the huge pressure of the Samsara Eye. Nagato, calm down, now is not the time to be angry. Conan said softly, but Nagato calmed down instantly. I was too impulsive, but the plan must not fail. Kakuzu and Hidan are both core members of the organization and know many secrets of the organization. Nagato's face was haggard, as if he often stayed up late, and his face gradually became gloomy and crazy. Conan frowned and said, "Nagato, I will always be with you." After that, Conan looked out the window. From here, he could see everything in the hidden rain village. The dusk was dim, as if hinting at something. Nagato was silent for a moment, and said, "Conan, in order to ensure the accurate implementation of the plan, we must expand our manpower. Take a look, this is the information sent by Zetsu." Nagato handed a document to Conan. Conan flipped through it gently and finished it quickly, frowning from time to time. "Hello, Obiru. It seems that he is a classmate of Jiraiya teacher and a current rebel ninja. From the information, he is an ordinary person." Conan looked at Nagato strangely. Nagato said slowly, "His talent is indeed mediocre, but the reason I chose to recruit him is that he has 4 bloodline limits." Conan's face changed slightly, indifferent, as if the face that looked like an iceberg changed. He said in surprise, "How is this possible? How can one person have 4 bloodline limits?" As if he understood Conan's surprise, to be honest, Nagato was also very surprised when he first knew about it. These were all investigated by Black Zetsu. Although it was unbelievable, Nagato did not doubt that Zetsu's information was wrong. In the past, Zetsu had already proved his ability. His bloodline limit comes from a special ability of his, which seems to be able to take away the bloodline limits of others. Nagato explained, explaining the source of the 4 bloodline limits of Hirako. Conan nodded. With 4 bloodline limits, he was qualified to join the Akatsuki organization as a core member. Hearing that it was a secret technique, Conan did not say much. There were all kinds of secret techniques in the ninja world, so it was not strange even if there was such a secret technique. Although Zetsu investigated Hirako's information, he was not very clear, because the deepest information and the best understanding of a person must be himself. However, Nagato does not need other people's secrets, as long as they can be used by the organization. Moreover, Nagato now proclaims himself a god, and you can imagine how arrogant he is. In his eyes, no matter how powerful the 4 blood limits of Hirako are, they cannot defeat God. After listening, Xiaonan nodded slightly and said slowly, "So, who are you going to send to recruit him?" In the dim room, Nagato lowered his head and thought slowly. After a while, he seemed to have thought about the problem clearly, so he looked up and said, "I plan to let Tendao go. Hirako's blood limit is not weak. Others may capsize in the ditch. For safety, let Tendao go." The reason why Nagato said this is not only that, but also that he wants to establish prestige and vent some emotions. At the same time, it can also be seen that he attaches great importance to the plan. Xiaonan was a little surprised. "You know, Tendao Pain is the leader of the Akatsuki organization in public. It is not a trivial matter for the leader to go out in person." But Conan didn't say anything. Since Yahiko's death, she has supported any decision made by Nagato. No matter right or wrong. The death of the companions, the blood and tears of the war, the world seems to be sick, and the passion has turned into the belief of protecting the last companion. Chapter 230. A black figure appeared in a dim underground cave. "Obito, Nagato has gone to recruit Hirako," Black Zetsu said to Obito, who was wearing a mask. Under the dim cave, the lights flickered, and Obito's shadow was twisted and swayed accordingly. Obito looked at Black Zetsu with a cold expression. "Don't call me Obito, call me Madara." "Okay, Madara-sama." Black Zetsu spoke again, and under the cover of darkness, Obito did not see the slightest disdainful smile rising from the corner of Black Zetsu's mouth. The existence of Hirako was actually revealed to Nagato by Obito, and the information about Hirako was also investigated by Black Zetsu. As Umbrella was exposed in the ninja world, Obito gradually became more and more uneasy. Naruto is an important part of the Moon Eye plan, but Naruto's strength makes Obito feel palpitations. Black Zetsu, how is the intelligence investigation of the Umbrella organization going? Obito's voice echoed faintly in the small cave. The other side has 3 major bases, and there are too many defensive barriers, so I don't know the specific situation, but I have almost understood the other small bases. They seem to have a power that is different from chakra. They call it martial arts, and there is also a strange ninja tool called a gun. That special ninja tool that can threaten genin can also be used by ordinary people. Black Zetsu told the intelligence he had investigated. After that, Obito looked at the moss-covered wall with a dim look in his eyes, wondering what he was thinking. After a long time, Obito's voice came. Why have I never heard of this organization before? Obito's voice revealed some doubts. In fact, even Black Zetsu was confused. In his long years, he really didn't find the existence of the Umbrella Organization. In the minds of Obito and Black Zetsu, the Umbrella Organization must have existed for a long time, but it has only recently emerged. In their opinion, the Red thought that is indeed a bit of a level of incitement must have been studied for a long time. Even Obito felt that it made some sense. But how could Obito, who had long believed in the Moon Eye Plan, care? The same is true for Black Zetsu. His ultimate goal is to rescue his mother. He doesn't care about other things. He doesn't care about the ninja world. He even secretly planned many things. All of this is done to lift the seal of his mother. I don't know. The world is big. Maybe it has emerged recently. Black Zetsu said slowly. Maybe someone saw the cruelty of war and spent decades on research. It's hard to say whether it has emerged recently. Umbrella. Does he want to be the umbrella of the ninja world? Black Zetsu disdains. Umbrella even recruits ordinary people. Maybe the thing called martial arts is taken out by the founder of Umbrella. In this world, what is the use of ordinary people? In the ninja world dominated by fists, chakra is real. This martial arts may end like the samurai. Black Zetsu may pay more attention to the power of immortal arts, but martial arts is ignored by Black Zetsu because not many people practice it to a high level. Even Obito was a little disdainful. In his eyes, martial arts was just like physical skills. Not worth mentioning. Time passed quickly while the two talked. At this moment, the Snow Country was completely different from the original Snow Country. On the high platform, a man with a pineapple hairstyle was reviewing the strength of the people in front of him. His face was still a little green, and a hint of immaturity could be seen. This man was Shikamaru. When Naruto contacted the Ino-Shika-Cho family, Naruto had to admire Nara Shikaku's decision. They each took out 800 ninjas from their families to join Naruto's army. These 2,400 ninjas greatly strengthened the foundation of the Umbrella Organization. The biggest help that the Nara family ninjas brought to the Umbrella Organization was to connect the small bases under the umbrella. The previous difficulty in management was quickly solved after the arrival of the Nara clan ninjas. The Nara clan is a clan with high IQs, and most of the clan members in the clan have more wisdom than ordinary people. So Naruto returned the favor and put Shikamaru in an important position in advance. The warriors were reviewing below, and Naruto handed over thousands of warriors of the umbrella to Shikamaru, who led them. Shikamaru looked down, and the blood and chi gathered together to form a huge blood and chi force. And this technology was developed by a man named Shiro. He combined the blood and chi of some people's martial arts to burst out a powerful force, allowing their blood and chi to condense into as a whole. This made Naruto very excited. Upon investigation, it turned out to be the Shiro he thought of. Moreover, Shiro was sent by Gaara. After Shisui and others verified her identity, they let Shiro stay in the Umbrella Organization. Except for Naruto, no one knew Shiro's talent. Shiro is from the Sand Village, not a ninja, because Shiro, like Shaoli, cannot use ninjutsu and genjutsu, so he can only practice physical skills. And he created the 7 days breathing method. The power feels comparable to the 8 gates of Dunjia. Since there is no comparison, the highest combat power of the 7 days breathing method is still unknown. Naruto didn't expect Gaara to send him to the Umbrella Organization. Gaara knows martial arts, and after discovering Shiro's talent, he decisively sent Shiro to the Umbrella Organization. And after Shiro came into contact with martial arts, the talent he showed was also amazing. Shiro completely abandoned chakra and practiced martial arts. At the same time, he transformed the 7 days breathing method into a secret technique that is more in line with martial arts. He created a boxing method and discovered the commonality of chi and blood power. He combined the chi and blood of martial arts and burst out with power that is not inferior to that of a shadow-level strongman. Now he has become a martial arts leader. The Umbrella organization now has 3 warrior teams. One team is led by Xiao Li, but Naruto also sent him a member of the Nara family as his deputy. The first team is led by Shiro, who quickly stood out from many martial arts practitioners, and now often fights with Xiao Li. As for the last team, it is led by Chen Baojun, the dragon god of Konoha, which is also quite dramatic. When Xiao Li gave Chen Baojun the martial arts scroll, Chen Baojun wanted to find a quiet place to wait for his death. But after practicing the martial arts training method, he condensed the chi and blood power, which stimulated the potential of life. After discovering that practicing martial arts can help prolong life, he found Xiao Li, and after learning what kind of organization Umbrella is, he resolutely decided to join the Umbrella organization. Naruto is of course very welcome to this. Chen Baojun can be compared to the normal Akai, far beyond the average elite ninja. Konoha Dragon God is even S-level physical skill. Chapter 231. After changing to martial arts, Naruto felt that Chen Baojun's strength should be able to stand firmly at the level of Kage. Kage-level masters are lacking everywhere. Everyone who becomes Kage-level has strong talents or special abilities. Naruto attaches great importance to martial arts. Although the threshold of martial arts is low, it consumes a lot of food. Strengthening physical strength, refining essence and transforming chi, especially meat, can speed up the practice of martial artists. The reason why martial arts can prolong life is that it comes from external energy, strengthens physical strength, and allows the body to evolve. Chakra is born by mixing spiritual energy with cell life energy. If there is no strong body, the extraction of chakra will only make people shorter-lived. Chakra also has the advantages of chakra, and the strength grows quickly. As long as the chakra is enough, you can release ninjutsu. Although warriors can be comparable to ninjas in the early stage, ninjas are more threatening to warriors. However, in the later stage, the warrior can resist the attack of ninjutsu, and the speed is extremely fast, and the ninja can be killed during the ninja seal. Only powerful ninjutsu can break the defense, and at this time, the warrior is more threatening. However, the cultivation of warriors requires more resources. Cultivation is also more difficult than chakra, but the advantage is that the lifespan of warriors is twice that of ninjas, and the gap is not small. Since its birth, the warrior system has been slowly maturing with the passage of time. Compared with the initial stage, each stage has its own alias, and many warriors like to say so. The initial skin refining stage is called iron skin, because after the epidermis is tempered, the skin defense of the warrior is like a layer of iron skin. And the bronze body is what some people call the flesh refining stage, because the strength of the flesh rises again at this stage. After that is chalcedony. At this stage, after the whole body bones are tempered, the body bones are like evolution, and the body vitality rises again. The benefits of martial arts training are also initially revealed. As for the later stages, they are called dragon tendons and phoenix organs. Dragon tendons begin to temper the meridians in the body. This stage is divided into tendon system and vein system. Tendons are closely related to bones. After tempering, tendons and bones can be realized. Veins are related to internal organs. Lay a solid foundation for the next stage. When the internal organs are tempered, the whole body reaches the point of being round and perfect, and martial arts supernatural powers can be born. Above that, natural energy is introduced to allow the body that has reached the limit to break through again and transform to a higher level of power. The body is tempered by natural energy, and the power of chi and blood is also fused into special chi and blood power by natural power. Naturally, greater power can be burst out. At this level, attention begins to be paid to the changes of the spirit. The so-called spirit naturally refers to the spirit of a person. When it reaches the extreme, it can form the primordial spirit. The common progress of spirit and body, when the spirit transforms into the primordial spirit, the body also undergoes transformation, and it can reach the level of rivaling the six paths. Originally, Naruto didn't have any training methods for the 6 levels of martial arts, but he solved it with the powerful ability of God's reward for hard work. Soul transformation is the key to promotion to the 6 paths. The 6 paths sage has practiced yin and yang escape. Yin escaped samsara eye, yang escaped sage body, and martial arts also have similarities. The realm of martial arts also needs to follow the rules. After forming the primordial spirit, the soul can temporarily leave the body and launch mental attacks at the same time. It can be regarded as increasing the means of the warrior. Although the realm of martial arts has been completed, there is still a lack of martial arts means and secrets. However, Naruto does not have time to develop them one by one. Let the younger generation develop the prosperity of martial arts. The basic martial arts are barely enough. Moreover, after Shaoli's improvement, some of the previous physical skills have become martial arts. At the same time, Shaoli also has the secret technique of the 8 gates of Dunjia. The martial arts version of the 8 gates of Dunjia has been passed on to the umbrella organization by Shaoli at the instruction of Might Guy. Now Shaoli's 8 gates of Dunjia can already open to the 7th level. On the high platform, Shikamaru looked at the teams below. After the inspection just now, he was shocked by the combat power of these teams of warriors. The current strength of Umbrella is probably not inferior to any big ninja village. This is just the low-end combat power. And the top combat power includes Naruto, Uchiha Shisui, Uchiha Yu, Uchiha Izumi, Zabuza, Sasuke, Neji, Shaoli, Chen Baojun, Shiro, and even Konoha can contribute to Umbrella. Thinking of this, Shikamaru couldn't help but swallow. Swallowing his saliva, a sense of pride rose in his heart at the same time. Thinking of Naruto's huge, shocking plan, maybe it can really be realized. He has known about Naruto's plan for the past 2 years, and it can even be called a world-changing plan, changing the old system, and even changing the current world pattern. The ninja world will be completely changed. If you don't pay attention, it will affect the entire ninja world. It is even more massive than the Ninja World War. Naruto's approach will definitely affect the interests of the nobles and even the daimyo. This is a class contradiction that cannot be avoided. Only one side will perish. Whether Naruto's side of the redists will win or the noble daimyo system will perish depends on the efforts in the future. It is precisely because the parties involved are all over the world, including civilians. Although the Ninja World War will affect ordinary people, the nobles will still be what they should be. Most of the injured are ordinary people. And what he did, the daimyo and other representative groups will never give up. The day he shows his fangs, the ninja world will definitely be shaken, which is why he keeps accumulating combat power. If he wants to win at a lower cost, he can't rely on him alone. In addition to strength, there is another important thing, that is the people's hearts. In Naruto's previous life, there has been a saying since ancient times that those who win the hearts of the people will win the world, which shows that the people's hearts are really important. Naruto has sent the 7 Colors Chamber of Commerce to do business in recent years, and has long been connected with ninja families in various countries, just like a spider web, intricate and complicated. Commercial circulation, recruitment and construction, and promoting economic development, Naruto is very good at it. In recent years, Naruto's astronomy, geography, civil and military strategies have all reached a very deep level with the help of God's reward for hard work. Once the war begins, the scales of victory will tilt towards Naruto. What needs to be considered is how to minimize the losses. The ninja world may be a hurdle for Naruto, but Naruto will not forget his biggest crisis, which is the Otsutsuki clan from the Starry Sky. This is the most terrifying. Just a few members of the Otsutsuki clan have brought about such changes in the ninja world. So what will happen when the strong men of the Otsutsuki clan come? It is still unknown how many people there are on the planet where the Otsutsuki clan is. What is the average strength level of the people? It is terrifying to think about a race that can plant trees everywhere in the universe. Only by preparing for the rainy day and working hard to develop can we cope with future crises. Kagaya is both the end and the beginning. Chapter 232. Shikamaru glanced at the martial arts formation team below. He was in a high position and had trained himself. Although his temperament was a little immature, his eyes exuded a deep light. Due to Naruto's request, Shikamaru's growth rate was no less than that of the original Fourth War, and he was even stronger. However, Naruto did not need Shikamaru's strength. Naruto valued his brain. Suddenly, a yellow light flashed, and Naruto appeared in front of Shikamaru. Shikamaru's eyes lit up and said, "Naruto, you are finally here. The martial arts performance can almost begin." Naruto nodded. This exercise was not only to experiment with the combined secret technique of chi and blood power developed by Shiro. At the same time, Naruto showed it to some people in the Umbrella organization. The status of ninjas was deeply rooted in the eyes of some people, so many people in the organization chose to become ninjas. Becoming a ninja requires talent, but Umbrella is recruiting members from the entire ninja world, without the restrictions of villages and countries, in the face of a huge population base. After all, many geniuses have been discovered, but their growth time is still too short. However, compared with various ninja villages or families that hide their private lives, everyone can get what they want in the Umbrella organization. 6 years of ninja school is a waste of too much time. Here, Naruto established elementary school, middle school and university. In here, these students are all future Umbrella fighters, and Naruto will not train them like the Konoha ninja school. Lazy in class, Chunin teaching, learning some theoretical knowledge, half of the time wasted on the third generation of Fire Will. This is absolutely not allowed by Naruto. Here, what is learned is the red thought and other theories. In order to cultivate the competitive consciousness of these students, Naruto has also explored the talents of students to a greater extent and improved the school system. From elementary school to university, 3 years each, a total of 9 years. In elementary school, there are various theories, weapons, ninjutsu, martial arts, scientific research, medical treatment, and some special theoretical knowledge. You need to be exposed to 1 or 2 of them, but only a little bit. When you reach middle school, you need to choose your own direction and take a path, because there are very few people who are all-rounders. Only specialization can reach a very deep level, but you can choose to master one and minor in another. When you reach university, you can regularly go to the real warriors to gain experience, and even participate in missions with accompaniment. The real graduation period is about 15 years old. Naruto requires that he can only go to the battlefield after the age of 15, except for special talents. He wants to pacify the troubled times, not just to give his children a good environment. Naruto will never allow children aged 7 or 8 to go to the battlefield, although this kind of thing is very common in the ninja world. During the Warring States period, which child was not fighting on the battlefield at the age of 7 or 8? But that was a family-style battle, and this situation is understandable. After all, we have to consider the environment at that time. Now the school established by Naruto has not only Jonin, but even elite Jonin level people teaching, and even he sometimes gives an open class. The course not only teaches ninjutsu and martial arts, but also scientific research. Comprehensive development is the right way to develop. During the study period, various exams can earn points, and the points can allow them to get most of what they want during the study period. There are not only paper exams, but also combat exams. Some people are not very talented in combat, but have talents in other aspects. This is to make things fair. Ensure fairness and justice as much as possible. Regular ranking matches, medical duels, various assessments, and during the teaching period, everyone can learn 3 ninjutsu of different attributes, but it is forbidden to use them on classmates during non-assessment periods. The reason for distinguishing different attributes is because of the attributes of some people. Some people learn fire escape ninjutsu with half the effort, and learn earth attribute ninjutsu with twice the effort. This is why there are various attributes of ninjutsu. Martial arts is taught as much as possible. Compared with the ninja schools in peacetime, the school established by Naruto is naturally more substantial. How much resources they want to obtain depends on their competition. There are even group assessments, which are to cultivate their teamwork ability and the degree of attention they pay to their partners. Naruto's current approach is somewhat based on the approach of the military academy in his previous life. But it is much more righteous. After all, some talents are not for fighting, and future positions still need to be filled. However, you can choose to skip grades. After all, there is no shortage of geniuses in this world. If you restrict him, you can't release all his potential. Naruto has seen such a little guy, who entered school at the age of 8, 1 year of elementary school, 1 year in middle school, 1 year in college. After graduation, his strength is close to that of a Jonin, and he is only 11 years old. The ninja school has been established for 5 years. Naruto ordered Shisui to build it a long time ago. There are also some people in their 20s in the school. After all, there are many people who are buried in the ninja world. Those with poor talents are in some small base schools, and the most outstanding talents are concentrated in the snow country. What makes Naruto a little concerned is that this 11-year-old kid has an unusually strong breath of life. Naruto suspects that this kid has the blood of the Senju clan. This kid, named Morishu, was rescued by Naruto in the ninja world. He was almost killed by robbers at the time, but Naruto didn't think he was anything special at the time. He threw him into the school established by the umbrella and never took care of him. It was not until he emerged that he remembered that Naruto asked Zabuza to take care of this kid. The emergence of talents also made Naruto very happy. However, the process of cultivating talents is also very costly. That is to say, Naruto now relies on the Seven Colors Chamber of Commerce throughout the ninja world to make money. Otherwise, the Snow Country alone cannot support the increasingly large umbrella organization. With Naruto's forward-looking training method, it only takes 3 years for the talents cultivated by Naruto to beat most of the students from Konoha Ninja School. The reason why it is most is that Konoha is also known as the cradle of geniuses, and the brilliance of some geniuses cannot be covered up. After coming back to his senses, Naruto was also full of emotion. The life experience in these years feels much longer and more exciting than in his previous life, which makes him almost forget his previous life. Wait a little longer, Tsunade and others will also come. Naruto said slowly. Shikamaru was a little surprised, but he was even more surprised when he heard Naruto say, "Your father will come this time too." What? They will come too? Will they make us? Shikamaru was a little worried. Konoha's Hokage and his father were coming, and would they attract the attention of other ninja villages? Naruto smiled and said, "I know what you are worried about. My Flying Thunder God has been developed to the next stage some time ago. I can already create a stable space channel. I have left a channel in Konoha, so their departure will not attract anyone's attention." Chapter 233. After hearing this, Shikamaru looked at Naruto in disbelief. Not only Shikamaru, but also the fourth Hokage Minato Namikaze in Naruto's body was also full of emotion. Naruto's development of Flying Thunder God has surpassed him. You have to know how long it took Naruto to learn Flying Thunder God. Of course, Naruto would not say that he had a cheat. While the two were talking, Naruto felt a few familiar chakras. Naruto looked into the distance, and a green figure appeared in his sight. Tsunade is here. Not only Tsunade is here, but also Kakashi, the chiefs of the 3 tribes of Ino, Shika and Cho, Inuzuka, Aburame, and Hyuga are here. Naruto also saw a familiar figure, and the corners of his mouth rose slightly. Tsunade, you are here. After saying that, Naruto looked at the beautiful figure next to Hyuga Hiyashi who he had been thinking about day and night. Hinata. Naruto smiled and looked at Hinata, who blushed under Naruto's fiery gaze. The face of Hinata Hiyashi on the side was as ugly as eating shit. Under Tsunade's teasing eyes, Naruto did not choose to reminisce with Hinata, but began to introduce her to Tsunade. After all, he had told Tsunade before that she would see the power that could change the times. At the same time, it was also for Tsunade to choose whether to let Konoha get on the umbrella chariot. This exercise is of great significance. Nara Shikaku also looked at Shikamaru standing next to Naruto, and his eyes couldn't help but turn red. But seeing the mature aura of Shikamaru now, he couldn't help but feel relieved. He always felt that Shikamaru was like himself, and now Shikamaru could grow up, which made him very happy. For a moment, he felt that he had not chosen the wrong person. His eyes fell on Naruto. In his gestures, Naruto had the temperament of a steady superior. While speaking, it seemed that he looked a bit like Minato, and there was also this aristocratic temperament, and a majestic momentum. Hinata stared at Naruto in a daze. Naruto was more dazzling than ever. Naruto turned around and looked at Shikamaru and said, "It's time to start." At this time, Shisui also took people to the platform. This was the first time that he stood in front of someone other than Naruto without hiding his face. Although Tsunade had seen it, other people in Konoha had never seen Shisui's true face. For a moment, his heart was in turmoil. However, due to the occasion, he also forced himself to calm down. Following Shikamaru's orders, the team led by Xiaoli and others also moved quickly. Concentrate the power of blood and chi, and the fighting tiger will appear. As the leader, Xiaoli led the team, and soon the power of blood and chi emerged. Many blood and chi formed blood and chi smoke, and soon condensed into a shape, and the appearance of a tiger appeared in front of everyone. With an extremely powerful momentum, the people of Konoha on the platform felt a palpitation. As the descendant of Might Guy, Xiaoli also condensed a tiger as his own attacking move. Ziluo was not idle either, and was not willing to be outdone. With the concerted efforts of everyone, the power of blood and chi turned into a giant bear, and the wild momentum was not inferior to Xiaoli at all. Another team, the martial arts team led by Chen Baojun, condensed a dragon. Lifelike, looking down on all living beings. Compared with the two, it is more imposing. Soon, under the horrified gaze of everyone, the blood and chi beasts condensed by the three parties bit each other, and the sky became a battlefield for the three-way melee, and even the aftermath of the fierce fight quickly expanded beyond the venue. Just when approaching the high platform of the city wall, a few transparent waves appeared. Tsunade instantly understood that Naruto had set up a defensive barrier that she had never seen before. Xiaoli stared at the blood and chi power in front of him, his expression serious, and roared, "Day Tiger! King of Beasts, Golden Roar!" An invisible sound wave spurted out of Day Tiger's mouth. Ziluo frowned, and the people around him showed painful expressions. Giant Bear, Guardian of the Earth. A powerful giant shield appeared, blocking all attacks. Ha ha ha, the old man is here too. Chen Baojun was very excited and quickly condensed the blood and chi of the crowd. Shenlong. Dance of the Dragon. Under the urging of the blood and chi power, the dragon turned into a very fast whirlwind, wrapping up the blood and chi beast condensed by the two people. He actually wanted to fight two people alone. Where have the people in Konoha seen such a scene? Such a gorgeous battle is simply unheard of. But they can also see that this attack has gathered the power of everyone, which is a powerful force beyond the level of Cage. Naruto smiled lightly. These people are his future power against Otsutsuki. In the future, the unification of the ninja world will also need their help. He did not expect that with the support of Xiaoli and others, he could actually such a powerful force. Tsunade was also shocked. He thought of Jiraiya, the child of destiny that Jiraiya mentioned. Jiraiya said that Naruto must be the child of destiny. She, who never believed in the illusory destiny, couldn't help but wonder if the child of destiny really existed. Haha, you two juniors are still too young. Chen Baojun's laughter came, and the members of the warrior team he led were also proud of it. The attack of the blood dragon condensed by Chen Baojun hit the weak points of the two people. For a time, Xiaoli and Zi Luo chose to temporarily join forces to fight against Chen Baojun. This exercise is not a trivial matter. Whoever performs well will get 30% more resources than the other side. The three beast-like beings soon fought together, scratching, biting or scratching, and even spraying powerful energy attacks. The three-man battle fell into a stalemate, but Chen Baojun was not worried at all. Even if the situation remained like this, he would be judged as the best in the end. The resources also fell to him. Xiaoli gritted his teeth. He signaled to the people next to him with his eyes, and instantly a stronger blood and chi force emerged. Open the first gate of the 8 gates of Dunjia. The people who had already understood each other tacitly opened the first gate of the 8 gates of Dunjia together in the shocked eyes of the people. However, the 8 gates of Dunjia will affect the control of the fusion of blood and chi, but with the current level of Xiaoli and others, they can still control it. The powerful force instantly repelled the two people. Zi Luo secretly bit his lips and looked at Xiaoli with an ugly face. Good guy, I didn't expect that Xiaoli, a guy with thick eyebrows and big eyes, would be so unethical. This is just a drill. Isn't it just a little resource? His eyes moved, and the people around him quickly understood. 7 days breathing method, first breathing. Zi Luo's team also began to move, and the power of chi and blood instantly grew. Competing with Xiaoli. Seeing this, Xiaoli hurriedly opened the second gate of the 8 gates of Dunjia, which was the limit of their perfect control. The huge day tiger suddenly grew, and Chen Baojun and others were immediately repelled by the powerful force. Grit their teeth and persist. Zi Luo was also unwilling to be outdone, and the second breath was also the limit of their control. Naruto frowned. If this continued, I'm afraid both sides would suffer losses, and the power of chi and blood would also explode horribly. Naruto flew directly above everyone's head. An invisible force emerged in his hand, trying to dissipate the attacks of the two, but when he felt this force, he couldn't help frowning again. Although he could defeat this force, it might cause them to suffer some minor injuries. Instantly a strong momentum appeared, and Naruto instantly entered the Sage mode. The powerful force instantly made the attacks of the three people disappear. This also made the people watching the battle swallow their saliva. How strong is Naruto? This question instantly appeared in everyone's mind. Chapter 234. An invisible wave of air burst out from Naruto's body, and the shocking power of Xiaoli and others disappeared in the blink of an eye. For a moment, there was complete silence. The people brought by Tsunade were soon shocked by such a powerful force. Is this still the power that a ninja should have? Such a powerful force reminded them of the legendary ninja who pacified the troubled times, the first-generation Hokage, Senju Hashirama. When this thought came up, everyone couldn't help but be shocked. How could Naruto reach the level of Senju Hashirama? But they couldn't help but think, what if he really reached it? Then their chances of winning by betting on the family are much higher. Okay, let's continue the drill. The resources for the next stage will be given priority to Chen Baojun's team. Naruto glared at Xiaoli, which made Xiaoli feel a little guilty. This time, he did go a little too far, but if he didn't do this, he would be a little sorry for his subordinates. After all, here, resources are obtained by fighting for them, which is also the reason why they are so powerful. Without aggressiveness and competitive consciousness, how can they remain strong? What he lacked this time was that he failed to suppress Zi Luo, which led to an uncontrollable situation. In fact, he also considered that Naruto would definitely take action, so he was a little unscrupulous. Who said that Xiaoli was honest and simple? Xiaoli now still has some tricks. Zi Luo also smiled embarrassedly. Chen Baojun smiled sincerely. His men also smiled at each other. 30% of the resources are not a small amount. If they are used well, they can achieve overtaking and steadily suppress the people led by Xiao Li and Zi Luo. The people in their third brigade are slightly weaker than the other two teams. That is, the person in charge is Chen Baojun, who has extremely sophisticated experience and vision, so he can suppress Xiao Li and Zi Luo. If the time is prolonged, they may not be able to defeat the two. Naruto returned to the high platform, and Tsunade came over and asked, "Naruto, do you have anything else powerful?" Although Tsunade was in the umbrella organization and had enough authority, she had never seen the power of the combat department with her own eyes, and she was in charge of medical care most of the time. At the same time, there were a lot of miscellaneous things in Konoha, so naturally she was not very clear. Of course there is, I'll let Shikamaru come and tell you. Shikamaru, you come and tell Tsunade. Naruto turned his head and said to Shikamaru. Not only Tsunade, but also the patriarchs of several other families were very interested. Tsunade looked at Shikamaru, and Shikamaru looked at several people, with a smug smile on his face. It was inevitable that he was a little proud of his fame at a young age. However, seeing his father here, he also restrained himself a little and said, "Tsunade-sama. You will know if you look down, and I believe you will see it soon." This sentence was also said to those patriarchs. Good boy, one by one, you are just learning to keep us in suspense. Tsunade also laughed angrily when she heard this, and said nothing more, turning her head to look down. The martial arts team has slowly retreated, relatively slowly, and the formation is indeed unusually neat, which is refreshing. Nara Shikaku looked at his son with a bad look, as if to say, "Good boy, you are so disrespectful to Tsunade." He didn't dare to say such words in front of Tsunade. Soon, Shikamaru shouted, "The ninjutsu team is on the field." Zabuza and Uchiha Yu each led a team of ninjas to the field. The weakest were all Chunin, each with about 1,000 people. With the support of the entire ninja world, there will always be some geniuses, and there are also many above-average talents, plus Naruto has improved the chakra refining technique. Under the same circumstances, the people of the Umbrella organization can refine twice as much chakra as other ninja villages. The current combat power of the Umbrella is expected to reach the level of tens of thousands. Coupled with chakra armor and the help of various technological creations, the combat power even surpassed the 5 major countries. That person, why does he look familiar? Lu Ju looked at Uchiha Yu and always felt that he looked familiar. Uchiha Yu was already a Jonin on the night of the extermination of the clan. Most of the Jonin in the village knew that Jonin was already a high-end combat power of a village. Lu Ju looked around and saw that Yamanaka Inui seemed to be a little abnormal. The eyes of the two met in midair. As that person. Do you think he looks like Uchiha Yu from the Uchiha family? Yamanaka Inui said a little incredulously, and the conversation between the two attracted the attention of several other people. Tsunade naturally noticed it and said, "Since Uchiha Shisui is alive, isn't it normal for several Uchiha clan members to survive?" Tsunade's words instantly sobered several people. Yes, Uchiha Shisui, who had long been rumored to be dead, is alive. It is inevitable that Uchiha Shisui is still alive. Chia left some tricks, maybe Uchiha Shisui was the one who faked his death to save his bloodline. Uchiha is so scheming. Uchiha Yu didn't know what Nara Shikaku and others were thinking. At this moment, he looked at Zabuza on the opposite side. The two were friends in private, but now they were opponents. Zabuza came from behind and entered the ranks of cage-level strongmen before him. He was very envious. His limit was close to cage level, but it was a little short. Zabuza's talent was not bad, otherwise he would not have been called Demon Zabuza. He killed all the existences who graduated at the same time, so he naturally had talent. Ha ha ha, Zabuza, my strength is worse than yours, but now is not the time to compete with personal strength. Line up. With Uchiha Yu's order, the whole team quickly stood up. Zabuza also smiled. I won't lose, Yu-jun. Wait and see. Uchiha Yu quickly led everyone to use the super large fire escape ninjutsu. Zabuza naturally used the power of water escape to resist. The huge flames were extinguished by water, and the mist rose up and instantly covered the battlefield. Zabuza was not idle either, and everyone used the mist-hidden technique. The thick fog instantly covered the arena. Thousands of people used the mist-hidden technique, which is very rare. Ice Shield Dragon Demon Escape Ice Crystal. A voice appeared. An ice dragon rushed out of the thick fog and hit Uchiha Yu directly. Uchiha Yu flashed a trace of helplessness. A trace of bitterness appeared at the corner of his mouth. An ice dragon of hundreds of meters, just thinking about it makes people shocked. On the stage, Tsunade and others were also shocked. There are also people in the ninja world who cooperate in using ninjutsu, but it is not like this. In Tsunade's perception, they seem to have become a whole, and the chakra is condensed together like the power of martial arts. Chakra can be mobilized between each other, so the power of a person's ninjutsu can be magnified to an incredible degree. Tsunade looked at Naruto in surprise. This time Naruto did not keep her in suspense and explained, "This is the power of the military formation." Military formation. Yes, military formation. This is a secret technique that can unite people's power. I call it a military formation. Naruto said slowly, his blue eyes revealing calmness. Chapter 235. Although ninjas cooperate in combat, this cannot elevate the power of ninjutsu. If the other side has a strong ninja, one side will surely be defeated. People with strong individual combat capabilities are deadly on the battlefield. Numbers sometimes don't mean anything. This is why small-scale combat is preferred in wars. When the overall power gap is not large, it is the strength of small-scale combat, or individual strength, that determines it. So the military formation came into being. Back then, the third Raikage was exhausted and 30,000 rock ninjas died. If there was a military formation, perhaps 10,000 people could have dragged the third Raikage to death. You wouldn't be unaware of this concept. The military formation can gather everyone's power together and launch a super large ninjutsu, and this ninjutsu has been sublimated, and its power even exceeds the cage level. This is the power of the military formation. Naruto's words exploded in everyone's ears. What a concept! Who of the people who died behind Tsunade had not been on the battlefield? 10,000 people can kill the Raikage. What a concept! It is equivalent to saving 2/3 of manpower. But if 30,000 people go out at the same time, even without the death of 10,000 people, the third Raikage can be taken down. This is the power of the military formation. The military formation is definitely a groundbreaking product. This is also why Naruto saw Shirao come up with the method of connecting chi and blood, and he referred to the existence of various novels in reality. In this world, the sealing technique is like an inscription, and the barrier technique is a bit like a formation. With Naruto's current accumulation, it is not too difficult to come up with the method of military formation. But it is very practical. The enhancement of the strength of the Umbrella Warriors will make his plan easier to implement in the future. In the future, if you go to war with the ninja world, you can't always charge forward by yourself. Then even if you take down the ninja world, the other party is only afraid of you. When you leave, where will you go? But if the whole is strong, they are afraid of the whole, and a single move will affect the whole body. Even if you have a mind, you have to hold it back. After all, even if you solve the leader, you can't deal with the rest. The scene soon changed. Uchiha Yu secretly sighed that Zabuza had no martial ethics and actually let Bai serve as the deputy formation man. Bai's strength was not bad to begin with, and now with the power of everyone, his strength was terrifying. The 100-meter-long ice dragon was the evidence, and they and Zabuza and others were trapped in the thick fog, with very low visibility. However, he had been prepared and ordered everyone to press the helmets they wore when they went on stage, which had a monocle on them. It was equipped with the latest developed thermal imaging device, which Zabuza didn't know. Yu blocked the news when he developed it a few days ago and didn't let Zabuza know. The purpose was to make Zabuza fall this time. But the ice dragon in front of him was the most threatening. After taking a look at the surrounding environment, he immediately had a plan. Fire escape prepare. In a moment, countless flames condensed into a pillar of fire. When the two collided, the ice dragon directly passed through the pillar of fire. Although it was melting, it was enough to rush to Uchiha Yu and the others. The power of my bloodline limit is not so easy to break. Bai chuckled. Uchiha Yu's face was calm. Soon, walls of earth rose up. Point to the ground to turn into steel. This is a powerful earth escape ninjutsu that can change the molecular structure of matter and turn it into steel. But at this moment, the power of the ice dragon has already surpassed the defense level of steel. Still sprinting, but the power contained is also reduced in each sprint. Seeing that it is almost done, Yu shouted and then jumped directly into the sky. With the blessing of huge chakra, a huge chakra fist condensed. Ah, break it for me. Yu threw a punch, and the fist collided with the ice dragon, whose power was almost consumed, and the ice dragon instantly turned into pieces. Zabuza's eyes twitched when he saw this scene. There was obviously a better way to solve it, but he had to choose this pretentious way. He really loves to show off. Ninki and Sasuke who were watching were also shocked. If the two of them went on the field, they would probably be defeated by the terrifying power of both sides in an instant. Uchiha Yu's majestic appearance also fell into Sasuke's eyes, and he couldn't help but have the idea of leading the battle himself. Shisui also chuckled. It was indeed eye-catching. Didn't he see that several people in Konoha were almost scared silly? The several clan leaders on the stage were indeed shocked at this moment, and couldn't help swallowing their saliva. What can he use to fight this power? Hit with a hammer. This kind of power makes him. They thought of the tailed beasts. However, the tailed beasts can be sealed by various calculations, but they are also human beings. However, it is gratifying that the consumption of chakra will probably be very fast. Haha, consumption, it's a pity that Naruto doesn't know their thoughts. Otherwise, do you know about the chakra reactor? Do you know about the tailed beast power bank? After the chakra reactor was built, Naruto ordered that 1/10 of the chakra must be handed in every day, and some people even handed in nearly all of it every day in exchange for points. After all, chakra can be restored. Although it has only been built for a few months, the accumulated chakra is already ridiculous. At least it is not a problem for 100,000 people to fight for 10 days and 10 nights. Not to mention that there is also the 9 tails to charge the chakra reactor regularly. However, if it really fights for 10 days and 10 nights, the chakra reactor is estimated to be almost consumed. Just when everyone in Konoha was still shocked. Yu has used the latest technology to teach Zabuza a lesson, and the traces of Zabuza and others were clearly seen. Yu directly launched a conflict, eliminating 1/10 of Zabuza's people. However, due to Bai's quick reaction, the huge magic mirror ice crystal instantly enveloped everyone. Bai under the magic mirror ice crystal was quite scary, but Bai under the chakra blessing of everyone was even more terrifying. The large amount of chakra blessing can also disperse her mental burden on everyone, which allows her to fight for a long time. The military formation is definitely a secret technique that is immune to the attack of the most powerful illusion. If you want to make everyone in the military formation fall into illusion, the difficulty will increase tenfold. That is, you need to have the ability to make 10,000 people fall into illusion at the same time. And there are some strong people among them. As long as one of them wakes up, he can wake up his companions immediately. Bai also reacted, and in the extreme speed, Bai quickly eliminated dozens of people on Yu's side. After this, Zabuza also knew that the mist hidden technique was ineffective in front of them. The two sides started to attack each other, and each attack was very powerful. It's time. Yu looked around. When the army formation is connected, everyone can receive simple instructions through chakra. At this moment, Yu's side is united. Water escape and fire escape cause water vapor to rise. Zabuza understood instantly. Yu is preparing to use Kirin. 1,000 people use this ninjutsu together, and the volume can reach 10 times that of Sasuke. Only a super shadow level can deal with it. Or in the state of fairy technique. Zabuza also laughed and said, "Don't I have any means?" On Zabuza's side, the overall momentum also condensed into one. He replaced Bai as the main person in the formation again, and the chakra began to gather, forming a sphere, and some changes occurred. Why does this look a bit like the tailed beast Jade? The people of Konoha are still in shock. No, this level of tailed beast balls can probably only be used by the 8 tails and the 9 tails. Shikaku said, and he used the tailed beast balls of the 8 tails and the 9 tails to match the chakra ball condensed by Zabuza. It is conceivable how powerful the moves used by Zabuza and his men were. Chapter 236. The huge energy from both sides gathered and hung in the sky. Tsunade on the stage frowned a little. If such a powerful energy gets out of control, it will probably cause a lot of casualties. Tsunade immediately looked at Naruto and said, "Naruto, if they can't control it." Naruto turned around and saw Tsunade's voice, and immediately understood Tsunade's worries. There won't be any problems. They know their limits. They have gathered the power of 1,000 people, and their power is much stronger. At the same time, the control is not as bad as imagined. Even if something goes wrong, they will maintain the scene at the same time. They are not Shaoli and Shi Luo. They still have their limits. Besides, don't they have me? Naruto's words immediately calmed Tsunade's heart, and she watched the battle below quietly. At this moment, the huge energy has gathered into a ball of purple energy, and the huge Kirin led by Uchiha Yu has also taken shape. The duel between the two seems long, but in fact it has taken shape in a moment. Zabuza, take it, I want to see who is stronger between us. Usually he is always suppressed by Zabuza, now relying on the power of Kirin, he has absolute confidence to defeat Zabuza. Then I want to see it, brothers, do you agree or not? No. The response sounded. You looked at the morale of the opponent being quickly raised by Zabuza, and his face turned cold. Morale seems useless, but in fact it can often burst out greater combat power on the battlefield. Attack. Lightning exploded, and the huge thunder Kirin brought unparalleled power, but Zabuza just snorted coldly, and the chakra ball formed by the huge chakra energy directly hit the Kirin. He knew that the opponent's attack was extremely penetrating and offensive, and had a relatively high durability. What he had to do was to decide the outcome in one fell swoop. The attacks from both sides collided, creating a huge impact. Lightning exploded, and the solid ground collapsed instantly. Both of them felt a huge pressure. Especially Uchiha Yu, he felt a very powerful attack coming, and an explosive force exploded instantly. At this time, he understood Zabuza's plan. He closed his eyes, and suddenly opened his eyes again. The Scarlet 3 Magatama instantly evolved under the blessing of huge power. Like 5 small circles formed by silk, there is a circle surrounding it. In Zabuza's surprised eyes, and Yu's powerful mental power enveloped Zabuza and others with the blessing of everyone. In a trance, Zabuza and others' control over chakra was instantly relaxed. In the battle, everything changes in a flash. Yu seized the opportunity of this little change. Kilin instantly broke through the obstacle of huge chakra energy. When Zabuza and others reacted, it was a foregone conclusion. After the huge Kirin broke through their attacks, it instantly dissipated, leaving only spots of lightning power floating in the air. This drill ended here. After all, it was impossible to really fight. This battle also caused some people to suffer minor injuries, but there is no such thing as fighting without injuries, and these injuries were quickly healed by the medical ninjas who came up. These situations also fell into the eyes of the clan leaders of Konoha. How did the Umbrella train such a large number of medical ninjas? Naruto naturally has his own way. There is a lot of knowledge in the medical field, and those with outstanding talents are a minority after all, so Naruto divided them into different departments. In this way, medical ninjas can be trained in large numbers in a short period of time. Those with talent can naturally learn more medical knowledge slowly. Improve your own accumulation of medical knowledge. Naruto's various systems in his previous life are already extremely advanced compared to the ninja world. It is not impossible to copy them here. Zabuza walked towards Uchiha Yu, patted his shoulder heavily, and said, "Good guy, I didn't see it wrong just now. When did you open the Mangekyo Sharingan?" Uchiha Yu smiled bitterly and said, "Don't say it, I just used everyone's power to sublimate my mental power. With the help of huge mental power, I was able to break through the limitation of the 3 Magatama Sharingan in a short time. But I didn't awaken my pupil technique at all, but the power of the illusion was much greater." Zabuza was slightly surprised when he heard it. He didn't expect it to be like this. He patted Yu's shoulder again and comforted him, "It's okay. Since you can reach the level of Mangekyo for a short time this time, doesn't it mean that you are very close to Mangekyo?" "Hey, you guy." Uchiha Yu heard Zabuza say this and immediately felt a little reason. He has always been eager to evolve the Mangekyo Sharingan, which is the highest honor of the Uchiha clan. Before, he could not open the Mangekyo Sharingan, which made him extremely depressed. Although his talent was not bad, it was still far behind those geniuses. He even thought that he would never be able to open the Mangekyo Sharingan in his life. Zabuza's words woke him up. Although he reached the Mangekyo level with the help of everyone, a bad Mangekyo is still a Mangekyo. Wanting to defeat the Mangekyo with 3 Magatama is simply a foolish dream. And after this experience, it may not be impossible to open it with your own strength in the future. Naruto on the stage was also surprised. He didn't expect you to open the Mangekyo Sharingan in a shortcut. With this opportunity, it may not be impossible in the future. Although he had a plan to let you open the Mangekyo, it seems that it can be easier. The people behind Tsunade also looked at each other. After all, they saw it just now, but the power of the Mangekyo was in front of the power of heaven just now. Also fell into the lower class. Sasuke, who was watching, was envious. When would he be able to open his Mangekyo Sharingan? Naruto said that when he opened his Mangekyo, he could seek revenge on Uchiha Itachi. After Zabuza and others withdrew, some more troops came on the field one after another. Naruto called it a mechanized force. The people at the beginning were not strong in combat power, and they also had the lowest level firearms. This kind of firearm can only have a lethal effect on genin, but the people behind are more powerful and equipped with chakra armor. The last person to come on the field was the one who had left the Hyuga branch family before. Hyuga Hiyashi had an ugly face and a trace of sadness in his eyes. And the leader of this team was Neji. There was also a deputy commander. After all, Neji's route was different from theirs. These people are all equipped with the organization's top chakra guns, which are powerful and can cause damage to ninjas below the level of Kage. The attack range is far and the lethality is not comparable to previous guns. The owner of the Byakugan blood limit is not only a natural scout, but also a natural gun user, and even has a huge advantage in medical treatment. Just using the Hyuga soft fist is really a waste of natural resources. With this group of Hyuga ninjas, it is equivalent to having the lethality of hundreds of Jonins. At this point, the whole exercise is almost over. Although Naruto has not shown some things yet, what he showed this time has already shocked these people in Konoha. Chapter 237. Naruto, I have to say that I am amazed by the power you have. The power you have is no worse than one of the 5 great nations, and you can even be compared to the existence of 2 of the 5 great nations. Nara Shikaku said in amazement. Naruto smiled. Counting Gaara, Sand Village, and the other 2 large bases, he was still confident that he could be compared to 3 or 4 large ninja villages. Of course, this does not include his strength. If he is included, he alone is enough to be comparable to the entire power of Umbrella. In other words, with him, Umbrella can already sweep the ninja world. But he is not in a hurry. It is better to be able to relax a little. After all, after victory, it is also construction. Now construction is also construction. It can even strengthen its own strength. It will be easier in the future. Ha ha ha, Naruto, good boy, I didn't expect the organization to be so powerful now. Tsunade laughed heartily. With Tsunade's green windbreaker, she looked like a female hero. It would be better if the big word, gamble, was ignored. Naruto also laughed. Tsunade used the word, organization, which obviously included herself in it. This means that Tsunade has completely recognized the existence of the organization and even acquiesced that she is also a member of the organization. If the former Tsunade might have concerns, after all, Naruto's future path will definitely be an enemy of the 5 major countries, and similarly, it will also be an enemy of Konoha. Konoha is the legacy left by her grandfather, and she will never let anyone destroy it, but after a long period of influence by the Red Thought, she also understands that Konoha is ultimately the effort made by her grandfather to achieve peace. But his grandfather did not seem to really achieve peace. If Naruto could really bring peace to the world, maybe his grandfather would support it. Konoha used to be her home, but with the demise of Senju and the death of her lover, Naoki, she no longer felt at home in Konoha. After all, how could a person prefer to wander in the ninja world for more than 10 years without going home? The actions of the umbrella this time made the families of Konoha completely determined. Yamanaka Inoichi and Akamichi Choza have decided to send Ino and Choji here to learn. After all, they have seen the strength of Uchiha Sasuke, Hyuga Neji, and Xiao Li, and even Shikamaru has undergone tremendous changes. And they decided to send another 500 people to support Umbrella. This is almost half of their family. Their entire family may have a combat power of about 3,000, which is already the limit. After all, they are not powerful families like Uchiha and Hyuga. Half a month has passed since the last incident, and Umbrella has entered a period of rapid development again. Because of Naruto's instruction, the gravity training room and venue of the entire Umbrella are not empty every day. Naruto is studying his immortal power in his exclusive training room. He found that only by letting himself get injured and recover, and relying on the ability of God's reward for hard work, can he quickly brush up the proficiency of the immortal power. Otherwise, it may take a few years to enter the next stage. After a few years, the flowers were cold, so he had no choice but to start self-mutilation. Naruto slashed the wind-attributed chakra on the knife, and a huge wound appeared in front of his eyes, and blood flowed out instantly. But it healed very quickly in a short time. In the blink of an eye, it returned to normal, with fresh skin and no traces. Although the process was cruel, the ending was very gratifying. Primary Immortal Avatar +2, Primary Immortal Avatar +2. A pleasant voice sounded in his mind, but Naruto suddenly heard a knock on the door. After Naruto said something, Shisui pushed the door and walked in. Since Naruto did not ask him to practice, Shisui went directly to the door. When he saw Naruto's actions, he was shocked. Although he heard that Naruto was practicing recently, he didn't expect it to be so cruel. But he was surprised again soon afterwards, because any injuries recovered within a few seconds. Naruto stopped what he was doing when Shisui came close. He knew that Shisui must have something wrong, otherwise he would not come to visit for no reason. This is my martial arts super speed regeneration ability. It has extremely fast recovery ability. The reason for this is to speed up the recovery. Naruto explained that he had only told Tsunade before and did not publicize it. After all, in this dangerous world, publicizing one's trump card is really a suicidal act. The leakage of information often means death. Just like Shisui in the past. Naruto did not talk about the current supernatural power, but the previous supernatural power. After all, the previous supernatural power was already perverted enough. Shisui had heard Naruto talk about martial arts supernatural powers before, but he didn't ask too much. After all, it's not polite to seek other people's intelligence. Hearing Naruto say that, he smiled and said, I really envy you for having such powerful supernatural powers, unlike me who is still in the bone training stage. Naruto cleaned up and made a cup of tea for Shisui, then said, then you have to work hard in the future. Martial arts can prolong your life if you practice them to a high level. It's not a problem to reach 200 years. This lifespan is very attractive in the ninja world, and Shisui is no exception. However, Shisui just smiled bitterly and said, "How can it be so easy? I have a lot of things to do in my daily life." Looking at Shisui's resentful eyes, this is not the first time Shisui has complained. Naruto also knows that 2/3 of the things in the organization are under Shisui's control, and most of the rest are handled by Zabuza and others. Only 1/10 of the things are handled by him. If ordinary people can meet such a decentralized leader, they will naturally be overjoyed. But Shisui and the others have no ambitions. Their goal is to assist Naruto. Or to say, they are in agreement with Naruto. It's okay. In a few years, you will definitely be able to relax. There is still a long life ahead. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. The hearty laughter of two people came from the not-so-small room. Yes, there is still a long time ahead. Shisui is only in his 20s and Naruto is only in his teens. Now, great things can be expected. Tell me, what's going on this time? Naruto took a sip of tea and said slowly. A ninja from the Bear Country came to our umbrella organization and hoped that we could help her snatch something called a star. Shisui said softly. Oh. Naruto's eyes lit up. Bear Country, stars, this plot seemed very familiar. He immediately said, "Is that ninja called Natsuki-hoshi?" Shisui was slightly surprised and said, "Do you know her?" "I know a little bit. The stars in the Star Ninja Village do have something interesting. Maybe we can study it." Naruto said slowly, his tone calm. Naruto added again, "We can take the opportunity to take over the Star Ninja Village. The geographical environment there is very good." Shisui nodded. Naruto looked at the water in the teacup, which was branded with his deep eyes. I don't know what he was thinking. Chapter 238. The breeze is blowing. 4 figures walked quickly on the road. They were Sasuke, Lee, Neji and Yakumo. Naruto entrusted the commission of the Summer Star to the 4 people. After all, the self-important guy in the Bear Village who claimed to be a shadow was just an elite jonin. A guy with a seriously insufficient population actually wanted to become a big country. Why did Naruto give us this mission? This is a ninja village. Lee said, but was greeted with strange looks from the 3 people. Sasuke said coldly, "Lee, you are still so naive. Our current goal is not a small village." "Yes, Lee, this goal may be just an ordinary task for us in the future." Neji added. He seemed to understand Naruto's meaning and let them know the relevant things in advance. After all, there are too many small ninja villages in the ninja world, and these small ninja villages will not be allowed to exist in the future. Xiaoli was a little confused by what the 2 said, but he still smiled and said, "I understand. Hey, don't forget, we have another mission, that is to bring the star back." Kurama Yakumo suddenly said. Several people also came back to their senses instantly. What exactly is a star? Sasuke and others were still on their way to perform their mission, but at this moment, the Snow Country resident welcomed a very special guest. Naruto looked at the figure in the distance with surprise and said, "Hinata. Why are you here? Hey, did someone forget about us?" A crisp voice appeared, with fair skin, a slender waist, and beautiful beige hair that reached the waist. Naruto smiled slightly and said, "Ino, why are you here too?" "Huh, what, don't you want us to come? By the way, why is your place so difficult to enter? We have to go through inspections halfway." Ino pretended to be unhappy. "Ino, you should also understand, after all, there are too many secrets in our place. By the way, I'll call Shikamaru to come and reminisce with you, he must miss you too." Naruto said with a smile. "I'm afraid he doesn't want to. My father said he is very powerful now." Ino said with her hands on her waist. At this time, a voice interrupted the 2 people's narration. "Naruto-kun, do you know where Sasuke went?" Naruto turned around and saw a head of pink hair and a wide forehead that could be used as a mirror. Sakura. I sent him on a mission, it will probably take a few days to come back. Naruto said with a smile. Sakura felt lost after getting the answer, but still smiled. This time she came here, but she finally applied for the opportunity from Tsunade. Naruto looked at the people who came: Hinata, Ino, Choji, Shino, Sakura, Inuzuka Kiba, and another person was Tenten. Wow, Konoha's 12 little strong men are all alive. What he didn't expect was that Tiantian also came. Naruto still had a good impression of that Chinese-style girl, but this girl had a good impression of Neji. This time Neji came back to have fun. Sasuke and others have already contacted Sha Rixing. Unlike the original plot, the current Sha Rixing has a good impression of the Umbrella Organization. The current Xingying has restarted Xing's training. Because the time is different from the original, Xingying has practiced for a longer time and is more powerful. Hello, our goal this time is to take away the existence called Xing in the village. Sha Rixing said quickly, wearing an animal mask on his face. Wait, what is Xing? Sasuke interrupted. Hey, Xing is a meteorite that landed in the Bear Country more than 200 years ago. Later, because of the existence of Xing, we called ourselves Xing Ninja. Xing has magical powers. Practicing next to Xing can extract a lot of chakra. But Xing also brings huge side effects. The longer we use Xing, the shorter our lifespan will be. Xing Ninja Village will be destroyed by Xing sooner or later, and now Xingying. Sha Rixing slowly put all the things on the tray. Sasuke and the others looked at each other. No wonder Naruto asked them to bring Xing back. The meteorite called Xing may really have some magical abilities. But in contrast, there is a price to pay. They also heard that Xing can activate cells to a level similar to lightning release, and at the same time increase the amount of chakra extracted. This is probably to stimulate cell potential and overdraw life. Then implement it according to the plan. According to what we said, the Bear Ninja Village will be incorporated into our umbrella organization and will be managed by us. We accept it all. Do you have any objection? Ninki looked at Sha Rixing and said. Sha Rixing gritted her teeth. To be honest, she was not qualified to make this decision, but thinking of the happy life of the people living under the umbrella organization, Sha Rixing agreed directly. The Star Ninja Village cannot be destroyed in the hands of Xingying. He had no idea how powerful the 5 major countries were. Assign the battle plan this time. Yakumo will use illusions to assist in the attack from a distance. Sasuke and I will deal with Xingying, and Shaoli will clean up the miscellaneous soldiers. According to Sha Rixing's senior ninja, this action is mainly aimed at the leadership such as Xingying. I also want to challenge Xingying. Shaoli said weakly. Shaoli, only your physical skills can quickly clear the field. According to the information provided by Sha Rixing's senior ninja, they are good at a ninjutsu called peacock magic. When performing ninjutsu, close-range attacks are more effective. With your speed, it is enough to quickly subdue them. Received. Ningqi's analysis was very reasonable, and Shaoli couldn't find a reason to refute it. In fact, except for Kurama Yakumo, whose physical skills were weaker, Shaoli and the other two were all good at physical skills. It was just that it was easier for the two of them to deal with the so-called Star Shadow. He also wanted to see what kind of strength the ninja who dared to call himself a shadow had. Soon, several people came to the outskirts of the Star Ninja Village. This place was hidden and easy to defend but difficult to attack. Come with me, there is a poisonous miasma outside. Sha Rixing looked at them and said. No need, we have a way. Sasuke and Nechi took Shaoli and Yakumo and flew into the Star Ninja Village in Sha Rixing's shocked eyes. The four nodded, and Sasuke directly bombarded the tallest building with a thunder escape. Who is it? An angry voice came. Enemy attack. The ninjas in the village were quickly attracted by the sudden movement. Shaoli turned into a shadow and stopped all the attacking ninjas. Sha Rixing on the periphery flashed a trace of anxiety. These people were really too impulsive. Chapter 239. Smoke and dust covered the surroundings, and under the moonlight, the figures of several people were perfectly covered. Who is it? A roar sounded, and you can imagine how angry it was. Under the gaze of Sasuke and others, a middle-aged ninja wearing a star forehead protector appeared, and the aura on his body also attracted the attention of the three. This is a strong enemy. Sparse voices sounded, and ninjas continued to surround the few people. Since Xingying is sure to be on par with the 5 major countries, the ninjas of Xingnan village are naturally quite powerful. But after all, they are short-sighted. Relying on the power of the stars, most of the people in the village are at the level of Chunin. Dozens and hundreds of figures surrounded the few people. Sha Rixing, who was on the periphery, saw this scene and couldn't help but feel anxious, secretly saying that the umbrella was arrogant. Sent a few little ghosts to carry out the mission. Even if these little ghosts are geniuses, they are probably helpless in the face of so many ninjas. But how could she imagine what a true genius was like? Facing the dense crowd, Sasuke smiled, and Neji also raised his lips slightly. Xingying looked down at Sasuke and the other two. At this moment, Yakumo had already ambushed in the distance, and Sasuke and the other two rushed directly to the center of the Star Ninja village. Each of them had Naruto's Flying Thunder God mark on their bodies, which could be activated at critical moments to ask Naruto for help, so it was not reckless, but absolutely confident. Xingying looked at the few people and frowned slightly. They did not have forehead protectors to indicate their identities, and he had been practicing in seclusion for the past 2 years, so he did not recognize Sasuke and the others. However, the young appearance of Sasuke and the other two still aroused his fear. Could these 3 be the core disciples trained by some big ninja village? Sasuke and the other two did not waste words. Seeing that the real masters had come out, they looked at each other directly and started to act as planned. Konoha Whirlwind. Shaoli turned into a shadow and swept away the ninjas surrounding him. Konoha Strong Whirlwind. Shaoli turned into a ruthless harvester, sweeping the ninjas around him. Screams came one after another, but Shaoli did not kill them. Instead, he kicked them unconscious. Shaoli has already mastered physical skills. He has already mastered the weaknesses of the human body and how to make people unconscious without being fatal. Facing Shaoli's sudden move, the remaining star ninjas soon reacted. Peacock Magic. The purple chakra penetrated the body and materialized directly. Sasuke and Neji frowned when they saw this scene. It seems that the information is correct. These people have cultivated huge chakras relying on the stars. Generally, no one is willing to use this kind of materialized move. The power may not be great, but it definitely consumes chakra. And judging from the color of the chakra, these people are definitely not normal. The normal chakra color should be blue, but these people have purple. Sasuke, go ahead. Ningji said. Sasuke nodded, and a ball of lightning energy with white and blue in it instantly appeared on his hand. Compared to before, Sasuke can already reach the level of instant for Chidori. Sasuke is more suitable for this ninjutsu than Kakashi. Whoosh! The sound of birds overwhelmed the screams, and Sasuke turned into a white light and stabbed towards Xingying. Ningji also hung his hands behind his back and ran towards Xingying. This is the most suitable pace for the ninja village. It can not only reduce air friction, but also hide the body as much as possible. Peacock Magic Beast. As Xingying quickly formed a seal, huge chakra soared into the sky, and a giant beast formed by chakra appeared in front of everyone. It appears, the powerful ninjutsu of Master Hoshikage. Master Hoshikage will win. Eliminate the invaders. Some Hoshikage ninjas saw the power of Hoshikage, but they thought it was the most powerful power. I'm afraid only the shadows of the 5 major countries can match it. A bear-shaped giant beast appeared. It collided with Sasuke's Chidori, and the collision of the two directly caused a violent explosion. Sasuke took a few steps back, and there was no ripple on his face, as if everything was expected. Is this your power? Chakra is mixed and not condensed. Sasuke said coldly. Hoshikage looked at Sasuke with an ugly face and said coldly, "Arrogant." Sasuke, who has avoided many detours, has a solid foundation since childhood with the help of Naruto, and his chakra control is even stronger. Although Hoshikage's power is strong, his chakra control is only about the same as that of an ordinary Jonin. Including chakra, this is already a shadow, but his strength is only slightly stronger than that of an elite Jonin. At this moment, Xingyin has been provoked by Sasuke and he made a seal again. Peacock Magic Double Wolf Rush. 2 attacks with wolf heads hit Sasuke and Neji. Neji directly used Kaden. Chakra emerged from Neji's body, and Xingying's attack was directly destroyed by Neji. Fire-style Great Dragon Fire Technique. A fire dragon instantly illuminated the surrounding space. Although Xingying was scum, his huge chakra still blocked Sasuke's attack. The huge chakra penetrated his body and directly crushed the huge fire dragon. And now Xiao Li, facing hundreds of ninjas, also felt pressure. Open the 8 gates of ninja, the rest gate, and the injury gate. Xiao Li instantly opened the first 3 gates of the 8 gates of ninja, and the speed was so fast that it condensed afterimages, and ninjas were constantly knocked out by Xiao Li. Damn, how can there be such a powerful ninja? Some star ninjas were terrified. The pressure brought by Xiao Li was too great. Often, Xiao Li had already rushed in front of him just after he used the ninjutsu. Before he could react, he was directly beaten away like a dead tree and rotten wood. 8 trigrams palm. Ninki directly shot a ball of chakra energy at Xingying. The powerful chakra energy directly forced Xingying back from a high place, and the house behind him instantly turned into ruins. The scene changed in an instant. Sha Rixing, who was still worried just now, was directly shocked. She didn't expect that these young ninjas in front of her were so powerful. When she came to her senses, she thought of Xing and wanted to steal Xing out in the chaos. Xingying was instantly filled with anger in his chest. He was actually forced to this extent by 2 little ghosts. Countless purple chakras flew all over the sky and turned into irregular long spears that stabbed Sasuke and Neji. Sasuke and Neji looked at each other, and Neji stood in front of Sasuke, and the Bagua field appeared, blocking all the chakra energy, while Sasuke started to make a seal. Dazzling lightning energy burst out. This is Kakashi's famous skill Reikiri. Die in despair. Sasuke's 3 Magatama slowly turned, and Xingying sensed the huge energy, and an invisible threat came from his heart. He immediately mobilized the chakra in his body to block the attack. Suddenly, his movements froze slightly, and the next moment, Sasuke's attack instantly penetrated Xingying's body, and Xingying looked unbelievable. Sasuke turned his head to look at the hillside in the distance, and Kurama Yakumo waved to him in the distance. It means no need to thank me, obviously she made the move. Chapter 240. Sasuke curled his lips, thinking that I can solve it without you. And now Xiao Li has gone crazy with killing. With so many people, it is the best place for him to hone his physical skills. Bloom, Lotus. Hard work can also surpass genius. Naruto, Teacher Kai, did you see it? Fight. Xiao Li shuttled through the crowd at high speed. After being improved, the blood power directly replaced the bandage. The lotus that killed 1,000 enemies and lost 800 of its own has completely changed. All the people around were swept away. At this time, Sasuke and others also looked at Xiao Li's battlefield. Most of the people Xiao Li faced were Genin and Chunin, and there were very few Jonin. But the number was not bad. At this time, a crisp female voice sounded, "Everyone stop it. Xingying is dead, everyone should stop making unnecessary casualties." Sha Rixing appeared in the air, with wings condensed by chakra behind her. She has stolen the star. Also found her child. I think everyone knows that the star has serious side effects. If this continues, the Star Ninja Village will disappear sooner or later. Xingying just wants to use you to fulfill his ambitions. If this continues, everyone will die. Sha Rixing made a hoarse voice, and tears were already flashing in his eyes. Many people stopped their actions after hearing Sha Rixing's voice. Sha Rixing was telling the truth. But these invaders are slaughtering my compatriots. Someone among the star ninjas stood up and shouted. Look, are they really dead? Sha Rixing's voice sounded again, and the ninja who had just spoken immediately checked the situation of a comatose companion not far away. He checked the situation of several people again, and all of them were in a coma. Really, they are actually fine. What's going on? He said in surprise. His companions did not die, which made him extremely surprised. Everyone, listen to me. These people are all talented ninjas from the Umbrella Organization. They came here to help us get rid of Xingying's control and help us solve Xing's troubles. I guess you have felt the side effects of Xing now. As long as you stop relying on Xing to practice and receive treatment, there is still hope for recovery. Sha Rixing has been in the ninja world for the past few years. Compared with the slightly closed Xing Ninja Village, she still has some experience. She believes that as long as Xing Ninja Village is under the umbrella of the Umbrella Organization, it should be no problem to send medical ninjas to treat Xing's side effects. After all, their village is too small and there is no medical ninja at all. Take the injured companions down for treatment first, and we will talk about the matter in detail later. Sha Rixing looked at the scene in front of her, and she knew it was difficult to explain it clearly now. And the companions in front of her also need help. After all, although these people are not dead, they are not without injuries. Soon, the Star Ninjas also accepted Sha Rixing's suggestion. After cleaning, Shaoli and others were still not welcomed by the Star Ninjas. After all, the village was now in such a state. Although the people were fine, many houses were destroyed. However, they did not care. Their organization could easily build many such houses. After staying in the umbrella for a long time, they also saw what the power of infrastructure is. Compared with ordinary people doing infrastructure, they have a team of ninjas specializing in building buildings. The speed and quality are far superior to ordinary people. In a house, Sha Rixing, dressed in casual clothes, appeared in front of them with a child. Hello, this is my child. Sha Rixing made a cup of tea for several people. With dark red long hair and a home outfit, the image of a beautiful woman jumped out. Sha Rixing took out the star and placed it in front of Sasuke and the others, saying, "This is the star, and it is also the treasure of our village." When talking about the treasure, Sha Rixing had a little self-mockery in her heart. She was afraid that the so-called treasure was just an ominous thing that harmed the village. Sasuke and the others looked at the star, which looked like a round stone. Is this the star you are talking about? It doesn't look too strange. Sasuke frowned and said. It landed in our Xing Ninja Village 200 years ago, or our Xing Ninja Village was named after the star. Our ancestors found that practicing with the star can enhance our chakra, but later they found that the star would bring serious side effects, so it was gradually sealed up, but the legend of the star has never been cut off. Sha Rixing said slowly. Later, Hongxing secretly used the star to practice. My husband was killed by Hongxing because he discovered Hongxing's conspiracy and ambition. Killed, Red Star as Star Shadow. He calls himself Shadow and thinks he is on par with the 5 great nations. It's really ridiculous. Sha Rixing added. Sasuke looked at the star and thought, Naruto specifically asked for this thing, the star must have some special power. Or radiation. Radiation has been mentioned in the ninja world, and many minerals also have radiation, but the side effects brought by this star are far less serious. Then we will take this star away, and people from the organization will come to take over the Star Ninja Village later. I hope you can be mentally prepared for them. Sasuke said slowly, and put the star directly into the storage ring that Naruto gave him. The morning of the rising sun. Sasuke and others could not wait to return to the snow country. In a laboratory, Naruto, Orochimaru Tsunade and others were all inside. Orochimaru was wearing a white coat at the moment, waiting to check the star. Orochimaru looked at everyone and said, "This meteorite has a strange radiation, which is unstable, and cells are prone to mutation. At the same time, it does have the ability to increase the amount of chakra, but the chakra produced will devour the life of the human body. That kind of special chakra, the more, the greater the damage to the body. Orochimaru's words shocked several people, and Naruto and Tsunade also tested the star separately. Looking at the star, Naruto recalled that many people in his previous life discussed that the star might be a part of the Ten Tails. In Naruto's opinion, this is simply an impossible thing. After all, the star fell into the ninja world 200 years ago. It's just a special meteorite with cosmic radiation. This star has extremely strong cosmic radiation, which is different from any mineral radiation in the ninja world. Naruto explained, but it surprised several people. Universe. Looking at the surprised looks of several people, Naruto remembered that there is no concept of universe in the ninja world. The universe is outside the sky for them. It's normal for Naruto to think about it. After all, the ninja world does not involve research on celestial bodies. So he explained, the universe refers to the outside of the sky, the world is vast, and the universe refers to the entire world, not the ninja world we know. Orochimaru should know something about this problem, gravity. Naruto said with a hint of meaning. Orochimaru was shocked. He had recently put aside his research on gravity. After what Naruto said, he recalled the shocking idea in his mind. The ninja world is just dust.